We're in the process of going live. It says we're live with an exclamation point.
I don't believe you.
Okay, the timer is actually ticking. Yes, you should believe me. It is correct.
It loaded in on me halfway saying believe you.
Hey, that's how it is. Hello, Internet. We're here. We're slightly early, but YouTube only wants me to schedule streams in 15-minute increments anyway, so... It turns out I only needed 5 minutes of extra time, not 15. How you doing, though, chat? How's things?
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to the Fail Portrayal, where we look at archetypes, and we sometimes laugh at their art. The main thing that's funny about Catapult, which you can see in the thumbnail version, is he looks like he's got teeth. That's funny.
I mean, some of the ancient gear art I'm going to laugh at.
He's a Pez dispenser.
He is. He is a giant Pez dispenser. There's some stuff to talk about.
Like, especially some of the newer cards are very, there are choices made.
And now, if you are wondering why we are discussing the gears that are ancient, or in Japanese, the OCG, antique gears, which I think ancient gear has a little bit more punch.
Yeah.
For a children's card game, antique gear sounds like some...
Antique
I mean,
Roadshow.
it fits Professor Crowler, but also...
I summoned the mighty ancient gear golem.
Yeah, but, or Professor Cross de Medici, because he was violently Italian in the Japanese version.
Spoiler, that is one of the few reasons I genuinely hate the GX sub. Is Crowler's, voice.
His Italianisms?
Didn't the folk
no, it's
dub
his
this
voice.
heavily...
It is the pitch of his voice.
And the folk is like...
It's too high for no
dubbed,
reason.
They just went him, just went, Professor, what are you? And he just went, I'm Professor.
It's yes, no. The dub Crowler is awesome, but no, there's a... I don't know what the term for it is, but it's like...
Well,
things
it's...
that are uniquely displeasing to the ear.
I mean, I don't know about the term for that, but the performance in the sub is a falsetto.
Well, no, it's not the falsetto, because like I'm fine with a lot of falsetto sub voices, but like that and a very few other voices have actually been like, no, this is actually just unpleasant to my ears. There's a word for it.
It's the children's voice and tag pitch, where it's just weirdly annoying.
No, it's the specific pitch.
Anti-ASMR.
I'm telling you, it's the specific pitch. I mean, it might be that, because I do get...
Anyway, I'm not going to get us too bogged down into the anti-ASMR equation or whatever the fuck Loth just said.
The anti-ASMR equation. I demand it.
I'm going to let you guys know, to remind everybody, why we're doing Ancient Gear is because there was a Fail Portrayal poll. We do that every month on Patreon. Please support my Patreon.
Someone finally dethroned me.
Warning, guys, in the chat, this is going to be one of those streams. This is Omega just pre-ordered Fire Emblem 3 Hopes and also has to buy groceries soon. I got to stock up on dry goods and some other shit, you know, from the Walmart. So, yes, this is the, hey, I'd like you to put some extra juice in my bank account pockets in the future so that I don't have to worry about my budgeting.
To ask you
yeah.
for a small donation.
Not you know, nothing crazy, but last week we did stream for like nearly 6 hours, and I don't think we got a lot of love on that one.
I don't remember last week.
No,
I remember
most
parts
of us
of
don't.
it, but I rewatched it to remember some of it again.
I believe several of us blacked out a couple of
I
times.
think I went insane.
I left a comment that basically summed up my experience, which was, I'm pretty sure this was a fever dream we all had.
It sure feels like it. Yes, thank you, Architect. But yeah, so... and yes, Dallas is correct. He was finally dethroned, though he was the runner-up. Fluffle Frightfur was number 2 with 5, and Ancient Gear won with 7. A couple people swooped in at the last minute for a couple extra votes.
Yeah!
So we'll do some different things. Dallas might decide to keep Fluffle Frightfur since it was a strong contender.
I definitely will.
It's a
so if you want to get in there, we got a chance. I know a few more people have some other stuff to think about, so we'll bring that back to you. And like I said, for as little as $5 a month, you can vote in the poll.
I mean, I've already said what my next one will be, if that incentivizes people to get for Fluffle Frightfur. I'm going to torture us and make us do DDD afterwards.
I mean, that's not torture because I think it's cool.
No, some of the art is...
Yeah, as a DDD aficionado and defender, no, some of the art for, especially some of the less used cards, is wholly ungodly.
There's also going to be the thing of, like, explaining to the audience why a DDD card is good or bad might take us a little bit because DDD is unfortunately usually, at least for most of their bigger cards, some of their main deck cards are pretty straightforward. You know, like
Kepler.
Kepler and Copernicus are very simple.
Axe, I will remind you, this is an artwork.
But it's definitely going to be some of their big boys. It's going to be like, okay, so he does these things.
Yeah, that's a lot to take. That's a lot to take in.
Yeah, no, DDD has some. It should be on fail track.
I mean, the to describe it is like it is originally meant.
I
to
mean,
be
here I'll just to give the audience a teaser.
But like, because they originally were meant to be like
up DDD Destiny King Zero Laplace.
Yeah. Also, saying the names for some of the cards will be hilarious.
Oh,
Again, originally they were meant to be like, I think they originally were meant to be just Goetia demons because they were to be like the bureaucracy of hell.
No, they're
but then they changed it.
they're conquerors.
Oh, I mean, I meant the original Japanese was like they were meant to be the bureaucracy of hell demons. But they all
No,
changed that.
they're still conquerors in the Japanese.
Okay, because I remember it being like
I'm pretty
king
sure
was like executives and like produced.
Well, yeah, no,
well, yeah, but that has nothing to do with the.
I'm pretty sure Genghis is still Genghis in Japanese.
DDD, the executive producer.
No, they're demons. There are demons, executives, and conquerors. Are the three themes.
Oh, okay.
No, well, no, I would. The other one of the themes is scientists, actually.
Well, philosophers more than scientists.
No. Have you? Do you understand like Laplace?
No, I'm gonna be honest. That one doesn't.
Yeah.
That one goes through me.
That's a scientist, like Newton and Kepler and Copernicus.
Why did I think
Maxwell?
Newton was a
I mean, Newton was
Edison?
also an occultist and an alchemist, so there's true. But yeah, it's there's a lot of science stuff. There's also some weird stuff they've got going on. God damn it, Loth. Sorry, Loth, not for public consumption, for some ungodly reason, typed DDD Jeff Bezos. Somebody put that custom card art on my screen. Anyway, I have pulled up the boy, the original man. He is reaching for you. He's coming.
He's so top heavy.
He ignores your mirror force.
He's so top heavy.
Yes, no. If you've never looked at him like this, Ancient Gear Golem definitely skips leg day, or they skipped leg day when they built him. I don't know.
I partially don't get where some of the actual mechanisms do. Like some of it's just armor plating. But like I guess that like the gear.
Well, everything external is just shell.
Like with the idea of an ancient ancient civilization thing, it's like, how does it work? Fuck if I know. It's ancient.
I was using the gears in the fire like for it could like lean back and forth.
Well, I believe the idea shown in some of them is that some of these are like energy generating. Like in his shoulder, that's a like a flywheel that spins up so he can move, because you have to get mechanical energy from somewhere. Everybody. Allegedly, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom Wiki says that they are based on the Antikythera mechanism. I will once again tell the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom Wiki to eat my shorts.
I have a much simpler explanation for the design of the Ancient Gears.
Go ahead.
Is that Kazuki Takahashi or whoever was in charge watched Laputa Castle in the Sky, because holy shit, plagiarism.
Yeah, the design's not exactly the same, but it is very, very Ghibli-esque. I do also believe this was probably they've got some concept art somewhere. This might have been a Kaz design.
Yeah,
because this would have been like right at the start of GX.
I only know that because Castle in the Sky is my favorite Disney movie.
Also, hello, I am back.
Ghibli. I mean, it's basically, but
they were imported by Miramax, so if you watched it dubbed, that dub was overseas.
Fun fact: if you watch that movie, you could see Luke Skywalker try and shoot children.
Yeah, because
I'm not going to give any more context to that.
Honestly, our audience should probably get, if you say that it probably refers to Mark Hamill's long and storied voice acting career.
Yes. Mark Hamill is...
it's pretty good.
How do I say...
Didn't they do a joke about that in a Batman cartoon where it's Mark Hamill in a car with a Joker voiced by Mark Hamill and a different character also voiced by Mark Hamill?
Yes.
That sounds like the kind of thing that would happen.
But yeah, so here's the big chungus. I definitely, as a person who also really likes Castle in the Sky, I definitely think this feels very Ghibli-esque. It's not quite the same. The armored warriors are.
It's the large arms and the mismatched eyes that really like.
Yeah, he's got mismatched eyes. One of them glows red. The color tone, the palette they use is very similar. The kind of, not quite bronzish, but the darker brownish metal, and then the silver of the gears. It's very similar. And yes, the Antikythera mechanism is a weird gear-looking thing that we found that we don't know what it does, but that doesn't an archetype make. You're trying really hard, guys.
Yeah. At least with the fucking DDD list, they're pretty. Spoiler: the cards literally tell you what they're based on.
Yeah, no.
I will say some of the actual outfit designs I don't get.
But no, the Ancient Gear Golem is like this. I can't say anything to this. It's like one of the most iconic cards to me. Like, this is, spoiler, I was a GX much more than I was a Duel Monsters kid. To me, this is, like, one of the most iconic cards of all time.
And honestly, it's one of the first, like, actual archetypes that pops up. And, as we'll see later, it's one of the ones that's received a lot of support.
And
well,
obviously this is not as diverse as Hero, because Hero's inherent theme was... We have a shitload of these. But this, at the start of GX, was really when they tried to start making that name-checking more consistent. Because that is when you start getting, the... no, I think Ojama support was later, but you got, like... some of the, obviously, Hero interactions. Sidra, right? Cyber Dragon, that's another good example.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
But
So,
Ancient Gear was, in fact, the first with Hero as the first archetype, because they were in the same pack.
Yeah. Both came out in Lost Millennium, the first GX set.
No, this card holds a special place in my heart, just because it's like... I remember this card, because it's basically just Blue Eyes, but better. If you really think about it.
Blue Eyes, but they fixed one of the major problems, which is... people just putting stuff in defense.
And then they put a different
Well,
different
I wouldn't say he's I wouldn't say he's necessarily like they fixed the because they reintroduced their own issue with Ultimate Pound, which when we talk about spell trap support, because we'll do that eventually, we probably won't show a lot of the card arts because a lot of it's very samey. But while I do have in the timeline, I have Geartown on the list. I have some other stuff at the back. But a excessive amount of Ancient Gear spell trap support is dedicated to getting this man out because he cannot be special ever.
Well, to be fair, the first episode of GX shows you how to turbo him out turn 1. There's a problem with it though. It uses a banned card.
What was it?
Heavy Storm.
Heavy Storm.
Yeah,
because Heavy Storm's a trap that gives him Dr.
Prowler 2 tokens, or
two
magnet
tokens.
token.
It's that one card that makes a snake token when you blow it up.
Yeah. But yeah,
Or,
so
I
Gear
think
Golem
he had 2 copies of that. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So
Gear Golem is a large and in charge lad. I do want to throw out. I actually like. Again, they just say this without a citation, which if you're a wiki format anything, please don't. But the Wikipedia does say that this monster is based on Roman war machines, presumably because of the hat, which is very Romanesque. I would buy that a lot more because they have names like Ballista, Howitzer, Fortresses, etc.
I mean, there's definitely a Roman theme going on.
Like
very clanky.
Like ancient. It's like ancient. I guess super Romanist. I guess is the bit.
Is that a plate clanking, or is Dallas something his own ancient gear?
No, it's not me.
And then as it later gets into I think the later support of it, it gets more into being like this is just its own ancient super society kind of thing. That
also, Omega, I don't mean to derail, but this is important.
Yeah, what's up?
I found out a manga card's existence.
Okay.
It makes me sad.
All right, which one?
This isn't a typo.
4Ds!
Yes, D, Super Dimensional Sovereign Emperor Zero Paradox.
Oh, come on, Konami, you gotta do it. You're doing Animation Chronicles, you gotta. Holy shit.
I was just like, I just looked at it, it's like, that's a typo, right?
4Ds.
Right.
No. And then they have to go to they have to complete the loop. They have to go to 5Ds.
5Ds nuts.
That doesn't even make any sense. Anyway.
Exactly.
Ancient Gear
I know what I'm
Golem.
doing.
We've been talking about him. You probably know his effects and everything, but we can discuss it. He is
It's like
a
Greed.
level 8 Earth machine. He has 3K, so great stat line. First line of text, cannot be special summoned. So, you will notice in the future when we get to Legacy support, a shitload of Ancient Gear Legacy support revolves around the fact that you cannot special summon Ancient Gear Golem normally.
Yeah.
You will see a lot of decreasing his
Ignore
tribute
summoning
effects,
conditions.
or yes, ignoring its summoning conditions. So its next effect, it has 3 effects. They're all but simple. First one is can't be special.
Yeah.
Second, if this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell traps until the end of the damage step. The Ancient Gear effect.
Yep. Sets up the whole Archetypes thing.
Yes. Very strong signature, them being anti-spell trap. And then second, piercing. Or third, rather, piercing. So this is a 3K beater. Your opponent cannot respond to its attack with spells or trap activations, which, again, remember, this was early GX, so that was a fairly decent amount of your response would be not necessarily near force. That might have actually
Or
been
Magic Cylinder.
forbidden by the time we got there. It was definitely on the limited list. But
pretty soon you'd start seeing
D-Prison, Dimensional Barriers, Axe mentioned Magic Cylinder was always popular.
yeah.
Also you
Right,
might
so-
actually save cards like a Karma Cut or a Icarus or whatever for when your opponent declares an attack because you don't know what they're going to go for. And then this blocks you out of that, so
Yep.
he is a big Chung Shua, and you
And
can
then-
clearly see his effects.
And then, like I said earlier, that piercing effect gets around one of the big problems, big beaters sometimes is.
Yeah, your opponent can't turtle,
Uh,
which is good.
Remembering how Jaden beat this card, I think it was Skyscraper nonsense.
Yeah,
it
he
was.
skyscrapered. He summoned Flame Wingman and skyscrapered, which meant that he did 3K damage as well.
I'll be
Yeah.
real. If that game had 8,000 life points, I feel like Kyler could turn it around.
Well, probably yeah, but that's
Yeah.
the point of a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. The next card is a slightly hard to search for one. As somebody clanks one.
Just pull up Discord to see who's clanking.
And then the other thing I wanted to say is we should also mention this because we haven't yet, but Ancient Gear is consistently been a Rogue Tier 2 competitive cut deck.
Well,
Like off and on, not throughout. They're not like the Eternal Burning Abyss, but when
Well-
Ancient Gear gets support, they will usually come back for a little bit, and if they didn't actually become meta,
I'll
which
say
some
this, Omega.
Geartown strategies
I
certainly
would
did.
say that is not true for the GX era. When the Arc V era happens, that is much more true.
Well, okay, so technically maybe not in the GX, though I do believe that Ancient Gear, the boy himself was certainly viable in some formats. Again,
Yeah.
Geartown came out Duelist Genesis, and especially with the original way Geartown was ruled, a Ancient Gear package, an Ancient Gear splash could be incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Similarly,
know how rogue competitive it was, but
All of these guys are, other than barring them, I think one or two of the fusion monsters are Earth Machines, another very popular super theme that goes over the archetype as
Yeah.
well.
the
One of
problem
them
with
is
Duelist
Dahl?
Genesis is there was no experimentation at the time because everything was just dad.
Yeah. So
True.
Ancient Gear may have been, I don't know, stomping around the schoolyards a bit.
I'm pretty sure that if I pull up History of Yu-Gi-Oh, the playlist from that era. Now, some of that is just because they did want to ignore 5 billion dad mirrors, but they did actually dig to other decks that were showing up at tournaments at that time. I'm pretty sure at least 1 week they paid a variant of the Ancient Gear list. So,
I'm
like I said,
pretty sure they
I am
did.
sure that Ancient Gears showed up to tournaments. I do not know if they were making top cuts, but people would try to play it. Especially because I believe most of the business you need, I guess the main question was how rare was Geartown again? Which I don't think very rare.
It was a common.
Yeah. So, compared to Dad, the fact that most of your Ancient Gear shit is in a structure deck, and then Geartown was a common, way more budget
I could
affordable.
definitely have seen this being, at least for a little bit of the Synchro era, probably not very long, because then the popper staple that is early Black Wings come out.
And unfortunately, so I've this list isn't perfectly divided chronologically, but I've broken it up into 3 rough eras. There's the original GX era, which is their first wave of support. You know, you see this guy here, Ancient Gear. He is a gear.
Yes.
He has wheels and tiny hands.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, after Geartown, which was, like I said, technically, early 5Ds, it was Duel's Genesis. They don't really get any retro support until we cycle around to Arc 5.
Though, to be fair, Arc 5 is when they're actually a rogue tier meta threat.
Yes.
Or not meta, but...
And it's because they also appeared back again in that anime.
Yeah, spoiler, they're an OTK deck.
Yeah.
And
I mean, honestly, they've always
they
kind
can
of been an
OTK.
OTK deck if you could get it to go, but very much their adjustment became make big guy, you die.
Yeah.
Make
'Cause
big
that's
guy,
the-
you cannot respond, you are dead.
Yeah, because that's the thing that holds it back severely in GX is that while the deck kind of does revolve around Golem to some extent, it doesn't really have a lot of guys that, say, produce tokens on destruction. Some other way to set up for the tribute summon really well.
Yeah, the
No,
primary method would be Castle,
Yeah.
which you can sack with tokens to reduce tribute.
I've heard Ancient Gears described in its modern form, and I do think this is fair, as what if Cyber Dragon was even more of an OTK deck? Like,
Yeah,
less
with
control
Sidra,
options and
there's
more OTK.
With Sidra, there's obviously a very strong control option if you can make Infinity. You have a negate board, and they have access to a whole light machine package, which is different than the Earth machine package and stuff like that, and a lot of really interesting ways to handle the fact that their key monster is also a guy you can't normal summon without tributes. So
Honestly, the only thing holding back Ancient Gears in the modern day is that they've kind of been absorbed into the amalgamation abomination that is the Earth Machine deck.
yes,
Earth
Machine continues
I
to
still
grow.
don't understand what that is.
Yes, you do.
It's a
You
little
play
bit of
Earth Machine.
Infinitrack, a little bit of Machina,
Right.
a little bit of Infinitrack, a
I
little bit of
haven't
Machina, a little bit of
I
Ancient
haven't learned the power of Infinitrax yet.
But you are the Earth Machine guy.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you,
are.
you play Scrap Machina, Geargia stuff. Like,
I mean,
the only
yeah,
thing
I
you're
will probably-
missing is the Infinitrack element because that is a Link deck.
I will
Link
play that
era deck.
eventually, but I
Yeah.
will also probably play Scrap again once I think Rapper comes out.
Well, yeah,
I
but
think
Scrap
Factory's
Scrap
out.
is a very unique case where it's not a monotype deck.
Mhm.
I could
Scraptor
actually
was
I could play Tikaboo in that deck actually.
Scraptor is a dinosaur, and people thought it was going to break Dino decks, and I don't think it did.
Well,
but it's a one of you and Dinos because Dinos is surprisingly a one of deck. I don't get it, but it is.
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
because
those
you
cards
can
are
you
banned.
can search whatever or blow up whatever the fuck you want in Dinos.
I have to go look into Dino.
Because other than Dinomorphia, which hardly is even, I don't think dinosaurs have had a strong
That's a Chita Brink deck.
all dinosaur. No, it's not. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything about Dinomorphia.
I'll say this: in our progression series, if I can do it, I'm going to play Dinomorphia.
Yeah,
because
I
that
hope
deck
you
is
can.
hilarious.
The rarity's a little skewed as usual. As a guy who opened those boxes and pulled some Dinomorphia packages, it's a little skewed, but we'll see. But dinosaurs don't really have a lot of archetypes in them that were used. Obviously there was the Evilzars, but their sub archetypes weren't all dinosaurs. You know, some of them were reptiles, so it was weird.
And some of them are dragons.
Yeah. So, and obviously there's Dino Wrestler. Nobody remembers any of those cards except Pankratops.
I do.
I mean,
This
I
is
hope-
played the
Chat,
deck.
y'all
hope it
remember
plays
that
Dino
the Dino Wrestler has a synchro monster?
I mean, I've
They
seen
have
it
a
because
synchro and a fusion monster.
Yeah.
multiple synchros actually. I think.
No, they only have one.
Okay, multiple fusions. Then.
Nope, they only have one.
Oh, okay.
They have a fusion, a synchro, and a link.
But
Okay,
yeah,
well,
so
the fusion requires
dinosaurs are in a really weird case where I think Konami does occasionally try to give them archetypes, and it never
But
sticks.
the Dino players just go, no.
Yeah, the Dino players just go, but Lost World Misk, Baby Ceratosaurus, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno?
And then they go back to eating glue.
Dallas's opinions do
Right
not
next to the
necessarily
blue
reflect.
eyed player.
Anyway, let's talk about Ancient Gear's effect. I don't think we have anything to say about this art. He's a weird gear man.
Yeah, his effects is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is. I mean, this makes sense. David mentioned this earlier. They kind of tried, but did not go whole hog on trying to give you extra summons. Also,
Yeah.
I swear to God, who's doing the clanking?
I
I'm
think
not hearing
that
anything.
And
I
pretty,
heard of
I
clink
very
clank.
loudly hear it.
Dallas, are you eating right now?
No.
And who the fuck?
I referred Dallas to my previous gift.
Right now.
You have no proof.
All right, audience, clip the stream with the clank. Send it to me. You can do that. There's a clip button. But no, I was gonna mention was Ancient
No,
Gear.
it's completely me. It's completely me.
It's always you. We do.
I was wondering to see how long I could get away with it, but David called me up pretty fast.
No, we know. We know what's up. But
Just
Ancient
I-
Gear,
reveals.
Ancient Gear reeks of that GX era support that we basically founded Fail Portrayal on because we started with doing Hero for like 4 episodes.
I'll make some arguments. There are some genuinely good early Ancient Gear.
Yes. Ancient
this is
Gear
not
is
one
not
of
one
them.
of them. So Ancient
No.
Gear is a level 2 Earth machine. It has 100 attack, 800 defense. If you control an Ancient Gear,
He is so tiny.
not an Ancient Gear monster, if you control an Ancient Gear, you can special summon this card from your hand in attack position. Now, if this said Ancient Gear monster, this card would have been amazing. This card
Oh, yeah.
may even have been banned at some point because it gives you free link material in the future, right? Like,
So
it's just
there
a
is
good
a
plus
very
one.
funny deck I have made with this card.
Yeah.
I made an Earth Machine Link deck, and I included this card because you can machine dupe it.
Yeah. Which is my first thought is, okay, this card has machine dupe stats. Why the fuck does it have its inherent special to special itself then? Just machine dupe it.
Yeah, that's the problem with this card is this card should read, if you control an Ancient Gear monster, special summon this card.
Yeah.
That's what this card
Yeah.
should
Because
read.
that would give you 2 tributes
have something like
before
that?
you tribute summon. Later, I believe they make it some special
This
summon.
is also the era when they made Side Row, which is better than.
No,
that
let me finish.
effect.
Yeah.
Did they have monsters like that? Like Dallas worded. Did they have monsters like that? Did they have effect clauses like that by that point?
Yes.
Yes,
It was like-
the Fiend Mega Cyber. Is
If
in,
you control
like,
X
early
monsters-
dual monsters. If your opponent controls 2 monsters, you may special summon this card.
Yeah. They had very specific special summon clauses by them.
Okay, I was just thinking they had one that would be like, if you already control this kind of monster, you can special.
That's not that much more specific.
No, I mean, and also I do think they did. This wasn't right away because this was Shadow of Infinity, so it was a couple sets later. But no,
Yeah, this is the dad set, so.
they that the you know
Never
you can only
mind.
special
Then it's
summon
like I don't know what
X
the fuck they're
darks.
doing then.
No, this is post Side Row.
Yeah,
That's my point. It's post.
Then it's
Side Row.
probably an anime transition thing.
No,
I
this
do
was
believe
an
it has
card.
anime appearances.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in the best duel in GX, in my opinion.
Ah, okay.
For a
So he
completely
special
non-duel
summons it.
related reason.
I see the line. It's a stupid anime line.
It's
Ma-
very stupid,
Magnet Circle
but-
level 2, special summon a level 2 or lower machine monster from your hand, then special. It's one of those things that in the anime, when the power of the script can give you cards in whatever order you like, is cool. In real life, it's like,
Yeah.
shit, I've drawn 3 Ancient Gears and none of my Magnet Circles. What the fuck do I do?
I'll say
Yeah.
this: it is a part of the best duel in all of Yu-Gi-Oh that has nothing to do with the dueling in it.
But yeah, I don't think we have anything to add about Ancient Gear. No, Marth's joined us.
Nope.
Other than it's keeping the theme on all right.
Yes,
I
it's an
don't have
attempt.
anything-
It's just they did not try hard enough to make this relevant. They kept it too strict. This is something
Yeah.
that they
Like-
stopped doing eventually, where they're just like,
Yeah, like-
fuck it. We'll make it relevant.
Yeah, no, I actually don't hate the art.
No, the art's fine.
No, it's somebody said
Yeah, I
he's
don't
like a little
love-
mascot.
Yeah, Yeah, I was gonna say if this was like a token card or something, I'd buy it.
Well, there is an Ancient Gear token. I could pull up that card if you guys want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our next card
Honestly,
on the list,
this might be the worst Ancient Gear card. Thinking on it.
it's pretty bad.
Ancient Gear,
Ancient Gear.
it's
But let's
Yeah.
move on to Ancient Gear Beasto.
yeah, the guy
Orc.
that fucks over a lot of Dallas's decks.
Yeah,
Deck.
Orc.
This card is actually mean.
Yeah,
And
I know.
actually very good, and I don't know. I think a lot of people didn't understand the ruling, and that's the only reason it wasn't played.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the other
And-
reason too
Well, and
is
also
that
let me
it's
check the. I think this
It's a
has a
tribute
PCST
one.
as well.
Yeah, I think before PCST was a thing, because if this was a thing,
Oh,
in the Monarch,
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ancient Gear Beast has gone through 5 erratums.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Because if this
Yeah.
if this was how it reads now in the Monarch era, there's no reason people shouldn't have been playing it.
Yeah, no.
'Cause,
It
it's
wasn't
a
until
bitch
the
of an
the 2017 Machine Reactor Structure deck, it was post PCST, that
Ah.
gave it the very clear effect text.
Yeah, no. When you understand its effect, this effect is actually the best early Ancient Gear card.
The problem was, and I'll read the original version of this before we get to it, but is there anything we want to say about his card art? He is a robot
Dog.
yeah, he's a
But can you
Actually-
pet the dog?
I do. I don't like his mouth. His mouth bothers me. The inside of his mouth.
I mean, he does have gears and stuff in there. I think it's supposed to be a little bothering. Like, this is like that famous internet meme, "Do not fist Android girls,"
This
with the
is
gear
like-
warning. Like,
This is definitely a little bit of furry horror, because I can just imagine the poor elemental heroes getting ground up into beef.
yeah, no.
Good.
This is
Yeah.
the card where when this guy gets going, he gets in there and you're like, that's unpleasant. That's gonna crush something.
It can't kill
This is
Playman, I think, though.
this card is one of the reasons I should never direct a Yu-Gi-Oh season, because I will traumatize children.
I think there are episodes of Arc 5 that try to go that angle, and it's not.
They don't have blood. I would literally show the monsters getting ripped to pieces.
Just pull a
should
Samurai
not
Jack,
direct
it's
a
oil,
children's show.
not blood.
Or
Like,
it's weird
Just
sparkles.
make it rainbow colored. It's hologram blood.
My favorite anime, one of my favorite animes of all time is Rin Daughters of Men Design, and that's all you need to know about me.
Whatever that is.
I feel like I vaguely ever hear that one.
Well, imagine a torture, like horror movie with a lot of philosophy, but the trick is the people that are getting tortured are immortal.
Oh right, it's
Can't
the
ever
immortal
die.
lesbians, right? Yeah.
Okay, that's the worst description of that show.
No, that's how it was pitched to me. That it's about immortal
Okay,
lesbians and like
whoever pitched it to you that way is very dumb.
Okay, Ancient Gear Beast is a level 6 Earth machine. It has 2K, so
Oh my
it's kind of
goodness,
like
done with our shit.
baby guy. You went off the mark there. I paused for a second to retweet cute Edelgard art because it's her birthday today. If you wish to support the Black Eagles, you should super chat us now.
Black Eagles are the best. This is just factual. Down with the system. Burn the church.
But we should probably talk about Ancient Gear Beast now. So its original effect text I will read to you is, this card cannot be special summoned. The effects of your opponent's effect monster that this monster destroys as a result of battle are negated. If this card attacks, your opponent can activate any spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. What he currently reads is, can't be special summoned. If this card attacks, your opponent can't activate spell trap cards until the end of the damage step. And negate the effects of an opponent's monster destroyed by battle with this card, including in the graveyard. So,
That also doesn't explain the full story.
yeah.
Because the effects are negated for the entirety of the duel in any instance of that effect.
Yes,
activating.
it is a...
Yeah.
Its effects, both of its effects, I should say, are continuous, which means that, so, if Ancient Gear Beast destroys a monster, it is any on-destruction effects are negated,
Yeah.
and then also, its effects, any effects it has in graveyard are negated, because it specifies while it stays in the graveyard.
Potentially game-winning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This effect is so, like... I don't know why it's ruled like this, and honestly, I'm kind of glad it is. Because it really gives this card, like, a very
I
unique
mean, I think it
place.
was, I'm gonna guess that either it was shown that way in the anime, Like it attacked a card and then was like did the thing.
But
no, it was. I think it was that way in the anime because he used it to defeat Zombie Werewolf, one of the Vampire Ladies cards, and keep it negated in the graveyard. So, yeah, I think it was shown to have this effect in the anime, but it wasn't clear in the original card text. So it was only through rulings until they actually clarified with PCST. No.
Think
when this destroys a guy, he's negated.
Here's the thing: Ancient Gear Beast is, to me, the best of the original Ancient Gear monsters because, like, even though he has that what MVC rightly calls the deadline of text, can't be special. On a one tribute monster that is uniquely not nearly as bad.
Especially when, again, one of the early supports was to reduce the amount of tributes you needed. So, if you're playing Ancient Gear correctly,
I genuinely don't know why this was not teched in Monarchs because this utterly obliterates some of the decks at the time.
Yes.
Like, if this goes into X-Saber, they're just dead. They lose.
I mean, no.
Yeah, no. If people knew what this card did, people would have played this in
I guess it must, unless the Yu-Gi-Oh! Top Decks is like incomplete for some earlier stuff.
I don't think it is.
Literally no top deck has ever used this card.
Yeah, no, this card
you must be correct, Dallas. Nobody understood the rulings back in the day.
Yeah, because it completely eliminates entire lines of recruiters. It eliminates witches. It eliminates Sangans. Like, there's no, like... Yes, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! This card isn't very good because of how the modern game works.
Yeah, mainly because it has to destroy by battle and it doesn't have a very robust stat line.
In that Duel Monsters GX era, I do not understand why this card was not played.
Yeah.
Because this card's effect is absolutely debilitating if you can get it off.
I think the other reason, too, is, isn't it only 19?
No, it's 2K.
Oh, it's 2K?
Which is low for a 6-star, but still.
I have experienced Dallas.
I thought it was a 5-star for some reason.
No, it's 6. And that's why Dallas is mentioning it in Monarch builds because it's 6.
Yeah. I've experienced Dallas molding over this in test games when it's Ancient Gear Beast just shuts down my deck, and I'm like,
genuinely,
and it's just then it does.
Yeah, genuinely, when I got to ban a card out of Ancient Gear that one time, I genuinely considered banning Beast. Because I hate that card.
Yeah, Beast is a fucker if it's going correctly. And it still has actual Ancient Gear Golem's Ancient Gear effect. You can't activate spell traps either.
Yeah, and like 2000 is exactly relevant enough to take care of any face down problem.
Not to mention that they're not in this list because they really fade off after a while, but Ancient Gear also had an equip card sub-theme. They have 2 equip cards that modulate attack, and Castle also gives you plus 300 attack. So they had some attack modulation as well.
Obviously, when we get to the Zale era, Zexal era, and beyond, this card gets way less relevant.
Yeah.
But in the Synchro, like, when people were setting face downs, like, I cannot believe this card didn't see that.
And somebody in chat can double check for me. Also, by the way, there's some stuff in chat I do want to shout out. One, thank you for the super chat architect, but also Chris Edward in chat had a great one saying that cards destroyed is it's not. You're right. It's not. Actually, that's a good question. Why isn't it showing? It's got a check mark. I did the thing correctly. Let me double check it. You are right. It's very weird, huh? Because I've got it shown, and I've got okay.
Being a butt.
Yeah, I think there's some extra junk in the URL line. That's my bad. I thought it worked because it went transparent. Let me fix that.
I also don't see chat on stream as per usual.
There it is. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, the chat box. I got it back.
Okay.
Architect is entirely correct, though. Black Eagles is best house.
All right, we got it. Sorry about that. It went transparent, so I didn't realize that it had some incorrect extra text in the URL. My bad. My B.
Like,
okay.
I used to think Ancient Gear.
Yellow deer.
Let's not argue about
Fire
Emblem 3 houses.
3 Fire Emblems.
That's there's a lot of charged discourse in this community that I would rather not tap into.
Claude is an asshat, and no one can convince me otherwise.
But he's cute, though, Dallas. That's all the internet needs.
I used to think Ancient Gear Beast was a dumb card, and then realized, oh wait, with Geartown, he just becomes a free summon.
Omega, all three of them are incredibly hot. That doesn't make it a difference.
I don't know.
Honestly,
some people don't appreciate how adorable Edelgard is, but anyway.
Here's the thing. During the entire discourse...
Okay, I'm going to have to mute Dallas if he won't stop this live.
Omega, this will be my last point, but it's just... During the entire discourse where people were like, I hate Edelgard, I hate Dimitri, I was just in the background going, I really kind of want to deck Claude in the face.
I think the part of it is that Claude also knows that people want to punch him in the face for good reasons.
Anyway, yes, and you are absolutely correct, Loth, with the Beast having his effectiveness. Yeah, he's a really good card. Like somebody in chat said, he puts monsters in the forever box. Once they get destroyed, they are just got. And the ruling clarification I was going to ask was, if anybody can double check this, was I believe that the way the damage step works, you check for destruction after or before a flip monster gets to proc. What's up?
Oh no, just filthy casual in chat. But
I hate you because you're right.
They hated him because they spoke the truth.
They spoke the truth.
Wait.
Okay.
So...
Anyway.
Yeah,
No. We're gonna leave it here. We're not gonna unravel that anymore.
No.
I was just
That's
gonna
why I
say.
didn't go into
That's all I had to say.
Ancient Gear Beast is good. And I just want to ask if it's also good against flip monsters because
yes,
yes.
It's actually
Okay.
the only effective flip monster killer.
Yes,
because it will negate the flip
Yeah.
effect in the damage.
Yeah, because the game has the game state has already checked if that monster is destroyed before the flip effect procs.
Like if you watch the progression series by Simo and Gage, Droroid does not do this, but Ancient Gear Beast is one of the few cards that will negate flip effects.
All right, and now I have brought forth the next boy, Ancient Gear Cannon, because yes, and this is a monster card, by the way. This is not a spell card.
This is a card you never see played.
That's not true, Loth, and I'll explain why.
I think the primary thing I want to bring up here is I feel like at this state, either the anime design team or Konami itself did not necessarily know what they wanted to do with Ancient Gear monsters, because like Golem, Beast, we're going to see later, like Soldier and Engineer. Okay, those are robot men dogs. Ancient Gear itself is weird, but this is just Ancient Gear Gun.
Yeah, Ancient Gear Gun.
Wait,
they have a
I can't remember the name of it. It's got that toy thing where you try to get the ball into like one of the holes on the stick it's on.
Yeah.
Like
also, by the way, I just realized I have posted the Japanese uncensored art. In America, they had to give it Tron lines, so you know that it's a laser gun, not a gun. Oh my god.
But still, I mean, if it's
Fucking-
laser, it's actually more lethal, though. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if it's
this
good enough for
was-
G.I. Joe, Axe,
Okay.
a real American hero.
Axe, listen, cannons like that blow you to bits, and they don't want children to realize.
I mean, I guess if it was a laser
It's-
thing, it would just vaporize
Listen,
you.
I don't know.
guess.
Remember
this-
they filled. Sorry to cut you off, Marth, there, but one more. But I want to clarify the censorship. Remember that for Rampart Blaster, they filled in her rocket pod with giant lozenges
Yeah. Yeah.
for some reason. Anyway, Marth, sorry, you were saying.
So, right, yeah, this is gun, but this also thing seems to have a nuclear fusion reactor on top.
Yeah, he's got a little like Helios sun for some reason.
So if you're somehow shoot that and make that unstable,
Yeah, that's the
wait,
thing I'm
actually, no, that's
describing.
fission.
That's the thing I'm
Fission is
describing as a ball on a stick.
I
Yeah.
actually don't know how.
It's got lightning bolts, so I don't think it's a stick, but-
Unstability works.
It's definitely a thing.
it has to do with heat, but
Or wait, did this seem to store up the Primordial Sun Helios?
Yeah, that's the joke I made. But yeah, it's just a weird one.
No, because Prowler got his ass kicked before that.
But I do want to throw out there. I think chat also has a good line. Like, I can imagine these guys as the like annoying RPG enemies in the Ancient Gear RPG or whatever. That are like you can only attack them with ranged attacks because they're far away.
Yeah.
yeah.
Welcome to Clocktown, motherfuckers.
Oh,
Geartown, come on. We got the obvious joke, Love. It's right there in the opening.
I know, but
cans remind me about the cans in Skies of Arcadia. They're annoying.
I mean, I will say this. They are very Japanese anime-ass cannons, right?
Yeah.
Like, we already talked about some of the Ghibli-esque elements.
Like, I love the cannon to the left of a card, where it looks like since it's on the gears, it could just be spinning.
Yeah. Spoiler, this is technically the Ancient Gear card that has seen the most competitive play.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, I can guess why. So let's talk about
exactly why you think it is.
It's yeah, okay. All right. So,
It's
okay.
exactly why you think
Ancient Gear Cannon is
not
a
wowed.
level 2 Earth machine, so it is also magnet circleable. It has 500 attack and defense. Effect well, it's all one effect, but so the first clause is you can tribute this card, inflict 500 damage to your opponent, and if you do, neither player can activate trap cards during the battle phase of this turn.
Yeah.
Now,
you know what that doesn't say?
Yeah. You may
Once
think
per
this
turn.
is just a humble way for Ancient Gears to get more trap negates. But no. It doesn't say once. There's not even a soft opt on this.
No.
This
is an OTK card.
Yeah. If you can keep putting this guy on board and can keep sacking him, you can
Yeah.
burn your
And also,
opponent
he's
out.
an Earth machine, which is very easily recyclable.
Yes.
So, yeah, this card was used in OTK decks.
Yeah. So
Not FTK, because there's nothing quite that silly, but
So wait, what did? Okay, so
you just keep
it
resummoning
does-
it and tributing it. It's
Yeah.
Cannon Soldier, but easier to recycle.
it tributes itself to do 500 damage,
Yeah.
then prevent trap cards from being activated during the battle phase. That is
Oh.
not a once per turn effect in any way.
No.
So,
No.
if you
Every non-hopped burn card has been used in an OTK strategy at least once.
yes.
So you have to do that 16 times. So it's like
But I would argue this is one of the better ones, just because it is Earth Machine level
Yeah,
2
no,
is very easy to fix.
Yeah, you've got cards like Magnet Circle and Machine Dupe that can special summon extras.
I do have one other thing to mention
Scrap
about that
Recycler
too.
come out.
Because aside from the damage, it does also turn off trap too.
Yeah.
Only
So-
during the battle phase, though. But yes, it
Oh,
turns
only
off
during the
all
battle.
traps during the battle phase, which means that
No, if this had all trap cards, this probably would have been played as a tech card.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And honestly,
block
I would
like
say under
IO
normal
or something.
circumstances that would be fair because it does specify neither player can activate trap cards during the battle phase of this turn. So, not that you would in Ancient Gear usually. They didn't
No,
quite.
but IO is still running around, and Ancient Gears need a lot of spells, so it's not the worst idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while they never quite went as far as like super heavy Sams, or arguably we have already discussed some Goki Sekka's light builds. Ancient Gears never go that crazy, but especially because they need their spell cards. But you do not set a lot of back row in Ancient Gears.
No.
They don't really need a lot of their back row to stick around, and in fact, a lot of their back row wants to be blown the fuck up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Usually they
But
blow
no.
their own back row up.
As sad as Loth will find this, yes, this did see not competitive success, but competitive play because of OTK burning loops.
Yeah.
Because,
So go ahead.
that's how most cards see competitive play in weird archetypes.
Oh, I get it.
I have noticed, by the way, a
I don't
sub-theme I do
like
want to
it.
bring up as I pull up our next card art here. This is Ancient Gear Engineer. If that doesn't work,
this weirdo.
Oh, this card
here's
is
how we
so
do
bad.
problem solving. Use a gun. And if that don't work, use more gun.
This might be my runner-up for worst Ancient Gear card.
So I want to throw out a slight theme I've noticed. Notice that not only do they all have the asymmetric eyes, but so far all of them have different eye color. Beast was yellow, Gear Golem was red, obviously, and this guy is green. So they're like doing some interesting diversity to make these guys unique. Anyway, this is a Mega Man Mook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
or it's a mook for Gearman.
he'd either be a Mega Man Mook or something you'd see in like a Gundam show.
Or
Yeah,
like
this
a
also
way
could be a
early
Mook
version.
Gundam.
Like
Yeah, no,
the
this-
things attached to his
Yeah.
back shoulders look exactly like things you've seen.
Yeah,
Gundam.
spoiler, the Ancient Gears have always reminded me of
Look.
a very specific Gundam. God, let me see if I can find a picture of it.
Zaku.
No, not...
No.
not
They
I'm
are
saying-
a little Zaku-esque, but
No,
not
no,
fully.
no, it's the other ones from early Gundam. I think it's the Doms.
Oh, yeah. No, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, they look like a kind of prototype Dom
Oh.
build.
Also, I just realized he's got a drill hand and one looks like a fucking shovel hand.
Yeah, because
Yep.
he's the
With a
engineer.
thumb.
He's a combat engineer.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept.
He's a reasonable mook.
Look, I actually don't hate the design for what
Oh
they're
no,
going
his
for.
art style, his art is not the problem with this card.
Ah,
No.
okay.
I think
see
he
what
fits
Baron's-
in.
To clarify for that, also yes,
Varen's making a nice connection with
Yes, that
red,
is
yellow,
a
green
dom.
with good old gears.
With gadgets,
oh, sorry,
yeah.
gadgets.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no earthly idea, and we're not doing. I don't even know if there's quite enough monsters in Gadget. Because there's only like
There is
6.
actually.
Yeah.
No, there's more.
yeah, there's more.
Yeah, there's.
Well,
like,
are we not counting the gadgets that are also ancient gears?
That's
Yeah.
only 1 or 2.
There's still 8.
There's still like 8. Let's see.
You count the
red-
trap card.
Red,
that's
blue,
one.
green,
5,
gold,
6,
silver,
7.
platinum. Well, I
let's
guess
see,
you
there's
count
startup.
the 2 gear holds.
Yeah, I was counting the 2.
Gear holds
the two
also
crabs.
the ones that were. Let's see. There's also.
Well, I mean, I know there are other cards called Gadget, but they don't. Like, Gadget Hauler is not a Gadget card.
Yeah, Gadget Hauler is a Morphtronic card.
Not what I'm thinking of that. Let me-
But-
let me
No,
check.
Gadget Driver is an actual Gadget card.
Okay. The problem is, as discussed, Yu-Gi-Oh is weird
No,
about
no, no,
archetype names
no, it isn't.
sometimes.
Wait, what am I talking about?
There are several
No, yeah,
Gadget
it's-
cards that aren't Gadget cards.
It's just yellow. Yeah.
That's 7. That's not really a
No.
full episode, but that could be a half episode sometime.
Like, what I will say about this
There's
guy.
also the boot ups. There's boot up corporal and boot up admiral. Sorry, that was what I was trying to remember.
No, it's okay. I just keep getting interrupted.
Go for it, buddy.
This guy, I can't remember his exact stat line, but that's the thing. His stat line sucks. He's a level
Do you want me to
5.
tell it to you?
Yes, please, Omega.
I think like 15,
It is
15.
it's 15-15. Good job, X.
Yeah, he's
This guy is a level
I
5
remember it because of how
15-15.
bad it is.
And he's one of those things where like his low stat is meant to be solved by his effect, which admittedly is a really good effect.
This was another case of
However,
Konami's
it's level
overbalancing him, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Level
And
four,
he-
yeah.
and he
bad
showed up
way.
in the-
BT dubs, spoilers. This guy was not a core set card. This was a support that was added in the structure deck.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's
he
a
was
cop-in
also
one.
in the anime once, I believe.
I think so.
Like-
He's got an appearance tab.
in order
Oh,
to
2
get this guy
episodes.
to work, technically you need some setup. Like the only way I can see this guy working is if you have Geartown, Castle, and Solidarity on field. Just give him the extra
I
stats
would
he
say
needs.
I would say the bit is that considering how Soldier also has garbage stats and how like I think it was scaled around the weird thing of how like the generic like the best stat monsters have like 1800 or it's like at the era was like it was like GX which is like the highest normal beater is like Sparkman which is 1600.
I think it is true that they over adjusted their stat lines and they weren't thinking
They were
like,
trying to rebalance.
Yeah. The problem was that Skill Drain Ungus Bungus still existed in
the-
GX, unfortunately.
The problem is trying to rebalance doesn't work when you don't have set rotation.
Yeah,
That-
and
it
that
doesn't.
I think is something that Konami has
You
realized
cannot
is that
rebalance.
they do not necessarily.
Yeah.
The way they rebalance is by banning and unbanning cards and then releasing new support that makes your weird old cards do things.
Yeah.
Like, Konami could absolutely print cards to make normal monsters with 15 or 100 less attack competitively viable. I don't know if they will, but they can do that. And that would, maybe make some of these weird Ancient Gear cards relevant in a future meta as counterplay, but let's not get into that too much. I think there's anything to say about Ancient Gear's Engineer's appearance anymore. He's a nice lad. He exists.
And the things I said about this guy apply to Soldier as well, which is
Yeah.
he expects you to have all that support to buff up his stats.
Yeah, I think that's the main
Expect Castle to be
thing.
on board
Like
for the,
especially
portraits and all.
considering that I don't think Ancient Gears ever got a in archetype like Pot of Greed replacer. Pot of Greed was still live through a decent chunk of GX, so I think Konami assumed that you could just draw cards for free. Because these guys don't have a lot of searchers. I
When they
think
make
your
one, it's
best
kind of
searcher is what
weird.
Ancient Gear Drill, blow up one of your own spell traps to set a spell.
Wyvern.
Well, yeah, Wyvern, but Wyvern doesn't come out until 10 years
Hey,
after
Ancient
this.
Gear Drill, another card that's used in a lot of general FTK decks.
That's what I mean.
Generic searchers.
Loth.
Whoa.
During the GX time, they did not have a lot of searchers. Okay, Ancient Gear's Effectus is negate any trap effects that target this card if you destroy that trap card. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell traps until a damage step. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked, target a spell trap your opponent controls, destroy that target. So all in all, this guy has a decent effect package. If your opponent tries to target him with a trap before the battle step, you're like, no. In the battle step, you have the spell trap block, and then you get to pop back row anyway, even if he gets flattened, which he probably will be because he literally loses to Axe Raider. Loses to, oh gosh, what would even be the, like, 4-star normal summon guy at this point?
Loses to Sparkman.
Does lose to Sparkman,
let's-
true.
Arcfiend Soldier, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it loses to
Archfiend
Archfiend Soldier, who would be
Soldier.
common in dark decks.
I
Uh,
mean, normal summon.
Was Pitch Black Werewolf 1600?
No, it's 15.
No, it's 16.
Strike,
No, it's 16, yeah.
Strike Ninja is a common card at this time.
Yeah, who's a 1700 normal.
Hmm.
Yeah, so there's a reason
I mean,
to his.
it's very hard to Omega. It's very hard to remember good early 4-stars at this time because this was the era of Monarch.
So, have you talked about this guy's effect yet?
Yeah, we mentioned his
No,
effects.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I
mean,
was
it's-
discussing, like, he has merit. The main thing that holds him back is the fact that not only does he have that
Yeah.
stat line, he is also 5 stars.
And also,
tribute one.
Like, I don't think there's a single redeeming. It's just such a bad.
I mean, nowadays I think there isn't.
If it,
I don't.
If it had an actual, if it was like 1900 with like I don't know, like 2200 defense or something.
I mean, yeah, if he was a 1900 5-star, there've been a couple of those that have utility.
And then you get the buff for like 300 more damage, and it's like 22. That's okay.
But in current, this is like, I mean, this is why they have what is it, Ancient Gear Tank, which gives you 600 attack. So you could
Yes,
turn this
and-
guy into a stat line that makes sense for a 2100 for a level 5. Unfortunately. All right, so
I'm just looking. I'm gonna try to look up what top decks were around at the time.
So, what's next on our list?
all right, so our next couple of cards, because of the way alphabetization works, will also be from the structure deck. They will be our particular weird boys from that time Konami decided to do the funny thing.
Omega,
First.
we're dumb.
What's up?
Breaker the Magical Warrior.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yes,
we
we
forgot
are
to
dumb. That guy hasn't been
mention.
so relevant for us for long. Yeah, no, that even after he uses his tokens, he's still bigger than Engineer.
DD Assailant's another one that hits over.
Actually, oh my god, I just realized that means Engineer is literally just a shittier breaker. You
Yeah,
could literally
Engineer's
just normal
bad
summon
breaker.
breaker and get the same thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think you can't.
You can't
Just,
bottomless
does
it.
yeah? Does bottomless target?
I think no. It triggers that.
Bottomless does not target.
Yeah, so you can still bottomless
yes.
Engineer.
Look at this boy.
But yeah, no, this is Ancient Gear Giltron Chimera.
This is a card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were 2 Giltron cards in the structure deck,
I
Dallas.
did not know
I forgot about this card. I
Yeah,
remember
there's
Yeah.
Gadgetron Dragon, and then there's this guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there's
No,
the
no.
gadget.
Chimera's
look,
the
there's
smaller
gadget slots.
one. The reason why you've never heard of this guy, Dallas, is because he has
bad.
no effect if you don't tribute summon him with a gadget. So unlike
Yes.
Giltron Dragon, there's literally no reason to play him because
They
the
made it
hybrid deck is
slightly-
dumb.
Yeah.
They made him slightly easier to do so with what was it, Ancient Gear Gadget. However, at that point, you've got
At that
Reactor
point-
Dragon, which is why bother with this guy.
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
yeah,
this is a. I feel like this card is a why bother even when he was released.
I mean, I will say, looking at his card art, I love this. Like, he is
Yeah.
a Chimera. He's a freak. He's got some kind of Ancient Gear bird we've never seen. Some kind of Ancient Gear
Bird.
wolf head. He's got, like, an Ancient Gear golem or engineer face and a snake tail. Like,
And you can see where the 3 gadgets are meant to go.
yeah. So, like, that's really cool. Konami, can you release Ancient Gear snake and Ancient Gear bird?
Just like as
do
Ancient
you
Gear
sell it?
Condor.
No, the bird I believe has
Ancient Gear Vulture.
because that looks to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Loth. That looks like the Wyvern head.
Probably like a chrome wyvern, yeah.
We'll
Or a
see when
vulture.
we get to wyvern if it looks the same. They might have done that.
And it's like we could also get an ancient gear normal dog, not hunting hound, because hunting hound's supposed to be smaller.
Hunting Hound is great.
Ancient
it's
Gear
supposed to be a small
Wolf
one.
would be funny.
Regardless,
But-
this card is
Snap.
penis bad.
Oh no, the
Yeah.
card is awful. The card art is actually like really metal and weird, and I like it. It is
Yeah.
a terrible shame that card art is attached to a useless ass card. Let's talk
One
about
of
it.
the things you don't normally see in with Ancient Gears, this guy's outer shelling is green, which
Yeah.
with Ancient Gears is mostly just the normal brown. It's interesting.
But yeah, so this is another level 6 Earth Machine. Now, admittedly, his stat line is technically better than Beast. He's got 2300 attack, 1300 defense. But his effects are, this card gains the appropriate effects if you normal summon it by tributing these monsters, which, by the way, it's a 1 tribute, so you can only tribute one of them normally. If you tribute Green Gadget, it gains 300 attack, so it becomes 26, which is
Not
okay. Red, if this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent via direct attack, inflicts 500 more damage to your opponent. Awful.
Why
Oh, that
even
effect is
bother?
awful.
Yellow Gadget, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflicts 700 damage to your opponent. Not
That one's okay.
quite as
That
good as
one's
piercing, but okay. So the
decent.
green and the yellow are all right. The Red Gadget effect is just
Is penis
Stupid.
bad?
Also,
um,
again,
yeah.
it's the thing about. So everyone here in Prague can attest to how gadgets are good as a looping
I'm not in
engine.
Prague,
where
I'm in the
if you
US.
contribute.
I'm sorry.
Even I can
What?
feel that one.
I didn't even
coming.
understand. I didn't hear what after you said there. Now.
I said I'm not in Prague. I'm in the U.S.
Yeah.
All right, Dallas. I know
Yeah.
off. I was
think
just
it's
like,
on
I just didn't hear the first. But again, if they made this where you could tribute them from your hand, because that's what you could do with gadgets, it would probably work a little bit better. Even that's still not good.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, if
it's,
it was like pitch a gadget.
And get
Yeah.
an effect like that.
hell,
yeah,
you
that-
could even if you want it to be balanced, you could even make it only gain that effect for like the rest of the turn, because it doesn't matter, you're playing gadget, you'll get more gadgets. Like there's stuff there, but it's still
You know what would be interesting? Dumb, but interesting. Give him something like an Insector effect. Equip a gadget from your hand or graveyard. Gain
that
this
would
effect.
also be a much more sensible way to do this kind of effect. Yeah, to give it a pseudo union effect.
Either way, I think we can all agree this is like the worst card we've seen so far.
The worst card, great card art.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
he's got great
I
card
still-
art. The problem is, I mean, honestly, I would argue, I think
Engineer's
Engineer and
worse.
Gear are technically
Yeah.
better because they have card effects that do things
I
theoretically.
mean, I still think Engineer is worse because of the fact that like
I mean, I guess you're right. You do have to
Just
normally
breaker
tribute one
exists.
guy to get a 1500 a body. That does suck.
But
like,
if you've got Geartown,
if
he's,
nothing else,
he's a
sorry to
shitty
cut you off there,
4-star
yeah, but,
with Geartown.
nothing else, Chimera is a one tribute monster who has 2300 attack, which is your biggest one tribute in this deck. So
also 2300 attack. I just have to point out what stat line is that under?
Under Monarchs?
Yup.
also, it's smaller than Jinzo, another machine one tribute monster you could play in this
Yeah.
deck that would make sense.
Another card that says fuck you trap cards.
Yeah, he's not a perfect synergy because I think Jindo is dark also, but
is dark.
like
I
he's-
tried.
he's still. I would still probably have considered playing him in Ancient Gears. But let's move on to the boy. This guy, if you've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, you probably have heard of. Oh, actually, so this is Ancient Gear Giltron Dragon. So actually, even though it was yellow, I do think the head of
You know,
this
that
looks
is
a lot like
definitely
the Chimera head.
Yeah, that's
Chimera.
yeah. Hey, he's also green or greenish.
Yeah. You know, kind of a patinaed copper look.
Oh, and with his collar, you can see where the gadgets are meant to go.
Yeah. He's got, you know, giant spiked flywheel legs, his tail. I like the kind of tattered effect. Like, you can tell at one point there were, like, these giant, like, maybe not quite
Mecha
canvas, but,
wings.
like, these really big, like, rigid sails in there.
Yo, doming people in Tag Force with this card is so fun.
I do appreciate the fact that yes, he's an ancient gear with all these gears, but also just the wiring connecting his body together.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
Yeah,
nice
I love this
detail.
card art.
Yeah, no, this
It's
is
interesting
rad.
how it's like, it gives the impression this thing used to have like full wings that were like made of like weird stone, and that, like it has tank tread pelvis. So I guess like,
well, they're
on
gears,
the
but
ground.
He's ancient, and you get that feeling from this guy. Like he's been through some shit.
yeah. I think the only thing that I might have a little bit of a chuckle about is he has butt wings, but
He does have butt.
Well, it does, but the thing is, it also has like a giant tail, so it has to have like
Yeah.
some more like air resistance.
To give him a positive aspect, I like that he has little robot ribs. Like that's a cool feature.
Yeah.
As Loft pointed out, he has the little like flywheel slots for the gadgets to slot into.
Also, I want to give the artist super credit here. The background of this card is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, they're like that weird color shading effect in the gears, and it's got like this
Yeah, it
gust
looks
of
like-
wind.
It looks like a sky covered in
This looks like an
gears.
anime boss fight room.
Yeah.
You walk into a Souls arena and you go. Oh,
I
fuck.
mean, that has kind of been one of our running themes in the chat while we've been going. This guy is absolutely an anime boss. So, and like I said, you guys have, if you've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for an extended period, you've heard of this guy. This was in the structure deck. He was the signature card in Machine Revolt.
This is like Babu's first boss monster.
Yeah.
He is one of the reasons why Geartown was banned in our frog format.
No, that's his older brother, but still.
But
I said
still,
one of. Not the-
still, he. Well, let's run down the stat line. That explains why. So this is another
Yes.
level 8 Earth machine. He has 3k attack, just like Ancient Gear Golem. Only 2k defense, so it slightly balances out. But it has by default, it always has the. Oops, sorry, slight hiccup there. If this card attacks, your opponent can activate spell traps. And then it also would gain effect based on if you tributed a gadget to get it, which is slightly easier because it's a 2 tribute. If you could actually do that part. If you tribute green, it gets piercing. If you tribute red, if this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, do 400 more damage. Which again, that is slightly better than the last red effect because it's any battle damage. And then yellow gadget is again, if this card destroys by battle, it does 600 damage to your opponent. I would say green's probably the best because that just gives you straight up piercing, but whatever. I guess the idea is you would tribute 2, and that would be funny. Because then if you did red-green, you would do piercing and do an extra 400, or if you did
what if
green-yellow.
didn't tribute something?
Yeah,
Yes,
so you may have
because
noticed
similar-
this boy
Oh.
has a key clause missing that several of the previous Ancient Gear bosses don't. He does not say, cannot be special summoned.
I think Chimera was also the same.
Yes, Chimera is also the same, but Chimera has no... Chimera is a fucking normal monster if you special him.
Yeah.
Again, one of the reasons why he's bad.
Shooter than normal, actually.
I mean,
because
this
normal
guy
attacks
is
with it.
kind of like he has the ancient gear effect,
Yes.
but he doesn't have any like special doodads. But he got a front on him.
The fact that this is a 3k beater, you can special, and it does still have that Ancient Gear effect to block spell traps.
this
this'll-
a better blue eyes monster.
This guy
will flat.
incentivizes you to kill Geartown.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this guy off Geartown is.
Sorry, kill your own Geartown,
Yeah.
not the opponent's.
Yeah, if your opponent knows this card exists, they're trying to figure out ways to not get rid of Geartown. Because they gotta have to deal with the fact that you can just summon this asshole out.
Yeah.
And he is
They
a,
blow
as
up
we've said,
Geartown
he is
and
a big
have
boy.
TT
If
set.
you don't know what you're doing, this is a large guy.
He is large and in charge.
So you can...
Especially if you've got like a castle or Solidarity on board.
Or the fact that, I know it's way later and you would probably use it on Reactor Dragon anyway, but the fact that Ancient Gear Reborn gives you 200 extra attack for some reason.
Yeah!
Because sometimes
Now, that fact has tilted Omega so much.
Not so much, but it did literally cause me to have to do some fucking 5D mental chess. Because it
Yeah.
made a monster
Omega
not
has,
a super powered
Omega has
target.
the trauma about dudes that are just bigger than 3,000 attack return. Even when he plays
Just-
deck,
just
no,
enough.
I didn't.
he
Well,
has the
I mean,
worst luck.
in the specific Ancient Gear Reborn case, it's because literally that made it not a super poly target. So I had to
Yeah,
do
well,
some
I-
extra steps.
Well, that's because you were playing Metal Foes.
But
Yeah. So
also, is the
Giltron.
chat actually saying anything? I haven't seen them say something since
No, they haven't
someone
said something since
Spark.
Sparkman. They're still here though.
Okay.
You guys can chime in. How many times did you get your asses beat by Giltron Dragon?
Dude, playground-wise, this card was the terror.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I don't
I
ever
think
lose
this
any
is the
card.
guy everyone looked at me and said, "Why are you playing magical hats?" And then instantly groaned when I showed them why.
No.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Giltron
no.
Dragon
The
is-
magic. We'll talk about that when we get to Geartown, which will be soon. But the ways people invented to abusify Geartown.
Giltron is definitely like, what was that video MBT did a while ago about like playground staples?
Yeah, It
Yeah.
was playground
Like-
cards.
Yeah, no. If I were to have submitted one, it was this card, because this was like the thing about the people I grew up playing Yu-Gi-Oh with. We weren't poor kids, but our parents didn't believe in Yu-Gi-Oh, so
Fair enough.
we didn't
Filthy
get cards.
casual.
But this was in a structure deck, so you could just get this.
I love you, Filthy Casual. You didn't need to do that. No. Okay.
And
okay.
realistically, you only need like 2 copies of this at most.
Yeah.
Apparently, calling
Yeah.
people out or not saying anything causes them to become a member and donate.
Oh no, they were already a member. But they did use their once a month special highlighted chat for that, Loth.
That's hilarious.
Also, thank you for
I
your super
love you,
chat.
Filthy Casual.
Yeah, you guys are great. Okay, I'm ready to pull up the next boy because hey, remember what happened in the GX era?
I actually
Gemini
have something to
monsters.
say. I
Right,
will make the
Arvid.
argument, Omega. I will make the argument here and now that other than Neos Alias, this is the best Gemini monster ever printed.
That, well, there have been some Gemini monsters that were printed like
Well,
in the
oh,
last
okay,
5
oh,
years,
first-
but
excluding Gigaplant.
Yeah, Gigaplant, Butterfly, Alias, and this are the only Gemini monsters I remember doing anything.
yeah, no,
with
you are
Yeah.
absolutely correct that, Ancient Gear Knight, by the way, this is a Gemini who does stuff.
Because you know what this card is? Like, other than an Ancient Gear, it's a machine.
Yeah.
Do you know what card was $5 million fucking dollars at the time? Mechanical Chaser, which is the only machine that has a higher attack point 4-star than this for a long
Yes.
time.
Yes, this guy is great. Just a great normal summon. Even without Gemini-ing him at first, he has a large attack.
Well,
That- that's
we've
the-
noticed, this guy, spoilers, this guy has 1800 attack on a 4-star monster. This guy has more
Mm-hmm.
attack than one of your 5-star monsters.
Because at the time, they saw that you only could have high stats if you had no effect. So at this time, it was kind of the weird compromise. where
I
the
mean,
closer
not
to-
entirely, but they would...
Or,
Konami valued certain types of effects more than others.
or you could be Zombie of the Dark and lose attack points.
And honestly, if
That's
more
the point.
Geminis were designed with this philosophy of what I think about Ancient Gear Soldier, no, it's not Soldier, it's
Nice.
This is Knight,
Knight.
yeah.
Soldier's a different card.
He's next.
It's a shitty card.
But no, Knight is definitely one of those cards. Like, it's a decent drop at the time. Like, no, it's not the best drop. Like, there are 1900s floating around, but for Earth Machine, like, there's nothing like this in there yet.
And I would like to
So-
throw out that this card was so impactful. I think you are correct, Dallas. Not only was this a common in Gladiator's Assault, but it got reprinted in all 3 battle packs, which was Konami's attempt to design a draft format. And it was in the Machine Reactor Structure deck in 2017.
No, this card is like genuinely good. Also, once again, with oh god, what's the spell card that was released at the time? Is it Castle or Fortress? I can't remember.
What's the
The
effect
Fortress
you're
came out
thinking
way
of?
later.
The one that gave 200 attack. That's Castle, right?
No, 300
Yeah,
attack is
Castle gives you
Castle.
300.
Yeah, that turns him into a 2100.
Yeah,
Yes.
for a normal. Very,
For a
very,
normal.
very rad. I like it.
That beats over Warwolf. Like, this is a good card. Even
Yes.
like obviously modern Yu-Gi-Oh is. I don't hate modern Yu-Gi-Oh. I have problems
And
with card design.
I
but-
love his art because unlike Ancient Gear Golem, since you got this action show right here, you can see his thick, big ass boots that don't make him seem as top heavy.
No,
Yeah.
this is also one of my favorite arts.
And
Like-
and to go with what Varen said, the spear, the lance, how it's connected, wow, good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
this,
on like a
this
double
card's great.
piston. I like it. His shield is a gear. No.
And the background is so good.
Yeah.
This guy with Solidarity was threatening. Yes, I know.
No,
I
like
hate him with Solidarity.
genuinely, this card is
Yeah, this is
like
a
art-wise
solid
and
card that came out.
effect-wise,
And again,
this is
once again, also, this was a common.
I'll make the argument. Before Geartown existed, this is the best Ancient Gear card.
I believe when Omega was like, or when people were like, yeah, we should unlimit Solidarity, I played Omega with Solidarity Ancient Gears, and he instantly was like, no.
No, I
fuck
think
you.
the one you tilted him with specifically was Solidarity Dark Magician.
No, I felt like that was
That
the
was
other one.
Ancient Gears.
There was definitely an Ancient Gear one in there where I was like, guys, we may have made a mistake. Because Loft's Ancient Gear deck is good, and also now he can make them all even huger.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
that's everything
I
they're good
vaguely
at.
remember this being the conversation we had at the time.
It's okay, we
Yeah,
got over it, but yeah.
Yeah, spoiler.
But yeah, no,
Solidarity
this
does
is
not
a very
seem
good
like-
art. Also, by the way, once again, the colors, he's got more of an orangey eye, you know, doing a different thing. I like
The
it.
colors.
And he's charging at you with what looks like a sunset gear sky in the background, which is
Yeah.
great.
I thought there was an explosion back there.
It could be
explosion,
that.
It could be a backlight. I love the god rays give the gears in the background a kind of depth. It's very good.
Yeah.
Speed lines.
Okay,
Very
so this guy is a Earth Machine Gemini, 1800 attack, 500 defense. While it's face up on the field or in the graveyard, it's a normal monster, and then you can normal summon it to give it this effect. If it attacks, you can activate spell traps. So it's a Gemini. That's probably why they gave it a good stat line. And then if you can actually normal summon it again,
He gains the ancient
yeah,
gear.
he gains the Ancient Gear effect. And even then, if you just summon him as an 1800 body or more, because again, we talked about attack modulation, just so you have somebody you can sack for beast or something, that's still good.
Yeah.
Like,
And honestly,
it's-
remember, machines are an archetype that have a lot of, to make the pun, doodads and
Yeah.
bits. Like, limiter removal makes this card an actual genuine threat.
Also, this card came out originally in late 2007. Only a couple years later, if you really wanted to go that route, the Warrior Strike Structure deck came out with Supervise.
Like, genuinely, I think this was run in tournament decks. Like, I think this was run in gadget decks. Like, genuinely.
I would not be surprised. He is a good
just
card.
Just
I
as a
know.
big guy.
I can see him being splashed into things.
Yeah, well, because, like, gadget has a lot of
Also,
obviously, like...
we're about to discuss Ancient Gear's other normal summon.
Yeah, that's
he's,
the other thing.
Yeah.
I think I brought it up already, but yeah.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, let me mute. I'm opening up a letter.
He was in some pure machine builds of gadget, yeah.
Yeah.
Not any tournament winners, but obviously, like... No, machines are good. Limiter removal is a broken card.
Yeah, Limiter Removal is a stupid card that's been relevant for so long. Anyway, I have on the screen placed Ancient Gear Soldier Boy.
Up in the hole,
Yo!
whammy, cranky, whammy, roll.
Now, on the
It'd
one
be,
hand...
such a normal, it'd be nice a card if he didn't. If he just wasn't. They weren't
Oh,
afraid of
actually,
him being good.
is the Master Duel
I-
art censored? Hold on. Is that correct?
This art is hilarious.
Ear gun, I guess.
Ah, it is
I-
censored in America. Wow, I didn't know they do
Yeah.
this. They do the censored card art over here. Wow, I mean, he sounds like a huge pain in the ass. What's?
Maybe that's why they don't release cards soon. It's all
They
the Americans' fault.
I'm guessing they censored the cannon gun.
Yeah. Here, I'll do them side by side so you guys
Uh,
can see. It's very stupid.
This card looks very derpy.
The Tron lines at the
Oh,
front.
right.
end.
They just added a bit.
Yeah, they just added the Tron lines to
Yeah,
make it an energy gun, and
This card-
they removed the what looks like chambers in his giant revolver gun for more Tron lines.
This card is
This
always
is literally
looked very
G.I. Joe.
This card is always looked very derpy to me because I always see the top gears as teeth, so it just looks like he's making a big ass smile, just going ee.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be teeth. Like he is kind of doing the thing.
I
looks
so dumb.
appreciate that with this dumb cannon thing, it looks like the gear looks like a revolver.
Yeah, it's interesting. I will say I think both versions of the card art are still kind of derpy because like it's either he's
Yeah.
got a laser gear gun for no reason, he's got a fucking Fallout 4 laser musket, or he has a weird gear revolver gun machine gun arm thing, which is also like
Yeah,
really
This art is
oversized.
very 90s comic.
If I remember right from the anime, I think it was when it spun up and fired, it was more akin to like a Gatling gun.
I do appreciate that his left
Makes sense.
shoulder armor is specifically like bigger, so that way he has more coverage if he shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good bit there.
His attack name was given in the anime as Precious Bullet in Japanese or Rapid Fire Fury in the dub. So
Yeah,
it's
that-
probably
Once
like a
again,
rat-a-tat-tat.
Rapid Fire Fury is a better name.
Yes.
I mean, I think they. Well, I character-wise, I understand what they were going for with Precious Bullet, but yes, no, you are correct.
Yes.
I would have gone with Rat-a-tat-tat Fury, but anyway.
And all,
I'm old
that's
school,
all
Shane.
The, makeup
Oh.
I'm
quest
gonna make you
done.
sleep with the fishes.
I would have gone with
right.
Ancient Gear, Glock.
Oh, actually, right. They sort of were doing a thing with old age gears. Was this precious? Insert other name here.
Yeah,
Or
like I
here.
said,
Right,
it
because
makes
antique gun,
character
right, antique
sense,
gun.
but
Yeah.
I don't
Uh,
like the naming scheme in the Japanese version. I'm gonna be real.
different languages find different things interesting. Anyway, Ancient Gear Soldier is a, especially considering this card. I mean, okay, no, this card came out several years before Night. This was also
Yeah.
in the first batch in Lost Millennium.
Yeah, this is in Lost
Even said,
Millennium.
even in Lost Millennium, this card is
This
dog
card
shit.
is still bad.
This is a level 4 Earth machine that is 1313 and has the only has the Ancient Gear effect. So you can
Yeah, this
tell
card
how
is,
much Konami or somebody in the writing room at GX, I don't know which comes first, but
Yeah.
somebody valued this effect very highly, much to this
This
card's
card is
detriment.
doo-doo cheeks.
Yes. He can be threatening with Solidarity and Geert and Ancient
Yeah, but he's probably
Castle,
playing something else instead.
where he becomes like a... With Solidarity, he becomes a 2100.
Yeah. Like, this was absolutely the card that if you were insistent on playing an Ancient Gear deck, you would play because you needed names, because there were like...
Yeah,
What,
no,
like
if you're
six of these
one
guys
of them
before the
filthy
structure deck came
monotype
out?
purists, then yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
But
there were
no, this
like,
card
if
is
you...
actual
I
ass.
think I'm literally correct. I think there were like 5 names
Hey,
before the
you
structure
know what's
deck.
bigger than him and a better card and synergizes with Ancient Gear?
What?
Most of the gadgets.
Yes, correct.
That's probably why they pivoted to add some gadget support in a way.
Yeah.
But also, during this era, it was a little bit later, but it was still technically GX, though it was very late GX.
This card is weaker than Celtic Guardian.
It's true.
True. But he's not as weak as Louise, aka Beaver Warrior.
Why is his name Louise?
Ask Kazuki Takahashi. He's the one who said Ruiz.
This
We
is
can't
why
trust that
anime
man.
was a mistake.
But,
Hayao Miyazaki was right.
That's too generic of a statement.
Ancient
It's like saying all
Gears-
comes are a mistake.
Ancient Gears
Sometimes I feel that way.
did have a bigger, bosserer monster back in the day.
Yes. The biggerer.
This is Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, their first fusion
Yes.
monster. This came out in Light of Destruction.
Yeah, came out
a good
after
card.
all this, and I had to trade out my ass for this guy.
Yeah, he was an Ultra.
Hey, he's an Ultra. What other Ultras are in Light of Destruction? Surely nothing meta-defining. Spoiler, it's Dad.
Oh.
Yes,
I-
this is in
I
the same
do-
set,
No.
the same rarity.
No, that would be a
Wait,
dark
first-
set, Dallas.
No, Dad's in Light of Destruction. I know it doesn't make any sense.
No, I'm sorted by rarity. You're wrong.
Oh, it is? Wait.
Yeah, it was a dark set. Now, not to say that there weren't stupid fucking ultra rares in this set, because this was the Lightsworn set. So
Yeah.
Lila, Celestia, and Solar Recharge are all ultras. Also, Destiny and Dragoon was a funnier ultra, I think.
Right. It's in Phantom Darkness.
No, but,
But,
still.
yeah, they turned your Ancient Gear Golem into a centaur.
Yeah, this art isn't great.
Yeah, this
Yeah, I
is
think there's some
one
interesting
of the,
choices here.
This is one of the
Interesting
arts that
I think it's
choices.
cool. But I'm.
He has
I
butt
guess I'm an
tentacles.
outlier.
Doesn't,
I think this was-
assume it to be a tail braids
Yeah.
or whatever.
They look like butt tentacles, though.
No, I can see what you mean.
So like my primary question, like honestly, him becoming a centaur, they're robots. Okay, sure, he gets extra legs.
That doesn't
More
bother
speed.
me.
The tail is weird, and I don't know what's up with his new claw
boy.
hand.
Also, why are his knees bent in weird directions?
Yeah, he's got
Oh, the
regular
ones in the
knees,
back?
then backwards
Yeah.
horse
It
knees.
is
Oh, it's
weird.
because I think it's meant to be. They're inverted. They're facing the other way.
They specifically, yeah, they're facing backwards.
That's
Yeah,
still
no, that-
weird.
I understand what they're doing.
Also, he
They
has
really-
like 2 extra shoulder blade things now.
Wait, guys, I got it. They took Ancient Gear Beast, removed the head, and attached the top half of Ancient Gear
Actually,
Golem.
I think so
Possibly.
because I think that's what the bit is because it says to be Ancient Gear Golem fused with something else. So it's like
True, because that is actually how this works. But yeah, this is a weird boy.
Well, no, it's Gadgetron because spoiler,
me
the
sense
butt
the tails.
tentacles are his tail.
Well, it is Ancient Gear Golem and I believe 2 other Ancient Gear monsters for this fusion.
Yes.
Oh, so it's whoever the claw is.
So it could be Beast and Gadgetron.
That's
I don't even know
possible.
where the claw is from. It's weird. They did it. They had a
That
good
claw.
solid start here, and then they like made it slightly weirder with certain
No.
elements.
It continuing on from last week's theme of weird foot stuff. The way this thing's legs are drawn bothers me intensely.
Yeah. But okay, so what this guy is he's a motherfucker.
He's big.
This is a
Yes.
level 10 Earth Machine fusion. It has 4,400 attack, 3,400 defense. It requires, as previously established, Ancient Gear Golem exactly and 2 Ancient Gear monsters. So it is a semi-generic fusion. Must be fusion summoned. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. If this card attacks, your opponent can't activate spell traps. If this card is destroyed, target an Ancient Gear Golem in your graveyard, special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. That's right. In 2008, Ancient Gears had a ignore its summoning conditions summon.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
this card is good contextually.
Yes.
Like,
And what I mean
and-
by contextually is this card gets power crept out the ass.
but then technically its power crit also gives it the floating effect to bring this guy out.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
There's no
So,
plan.
which is why I make the joke that this guy and the other things that it floats into and what floats into it is basically just Tank and Topper.
yeah, you blow
Yeah,
up the big one, this guy jumps out, you blow up this, and Ancient Gear Golem just, like, ditches his horse legs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and again, this is now it's admittedly, it's a 3-mat fusion, and Ancient Gears don't get their own fusion spell for, like, 10 years after
But
this.
then you get but then Hunting Hound is a lot better.
This card was nuts, or not nuts, but this card was really good back before they rotted Future Fusion.
Yes.
Yes, also true, because this was the Future Fusion era as well.
Yes.
Like,
Before-
I don't think in terms of OTK blowout Future Fusion cards, this beats Chimera Tech. Sidra definitely had,
well, no,
I think,
Chimera Tech doesn't work with Future Fusion. That's the thing, Omega. Because Chimera Tech blows up Future Fusion, which blows up the card.
no, well, the combo is you
Yeah.
Future Fusion Chimera Tech, dump your whole
No.
graveyard, then you
But
activate Overload.
the reason they rotted that had nothing to do with actually using the card. The reason they
No.
rotted it was because Shadal's got rented.
Yeah, because you could immediately. It used to be you immediately declared and dumped the monsters, which was way too proactive for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, it's just
Especially
they
once
made-
Shadal's got printed and their effects read.
Well, yeah.
When this
it
card
was-
is sent by a card effect.
Yeah, it was when they made, because, like, I mean, there were
Now-
cards that could technically take advantage of it.
Well,
the
and
GX
Future
5D era.
Fusion was banned for a while around this time period.
Well, no, it didn't get banned until Zexal.
Ah,
don't remember
I
exactly what
I
it is.
watched History of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm pretty sure Future Fusion went to 0 during this time period.
Let me see.
I think it was
I
this
have
time
the history
period.
I have the history.
2012.
Yeah, no, that's Zexal.
Okay, so it was that late. Maybe it went to 1 around this time period?
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely went to 1, but
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
because of
to
OTK
find
stuff.
Where to?
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think this card is quite as big dick swinging as, like I said, the Sidra options. But it's still a really good one.
Yeah, he's still a really big asshole.
Big dick swinging like Hypno. I'll throw it around that Hypno.
And also, technically, you could, if you wanted to tech in Sidras, you could still run like Overload Fusion and then also just make Chimera Tech. Because why the fuck
Yeah, I
wouldn't you?
just double checked. Future Fusion was limited as soon as it came out on TCG.
Ah!
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so they immediately went to limit, and then it didn't get banned until later. Okay.
Until more graveyard procking stuff, I'm guessing.
Yes. And then
I don't
they
know
were
what
like, okay, we can bring
specifically,
this
but-
card back, but we have to fix its effect.
Yeah, because Shadal burn. like I said, Yu-Gi-Oh has a problem, and I still think it's a problem even if other people don't, where there is no way to rein in the power creep. You cannot reset. You can only go higher.
I mean, I don't think that's 100% true, because there have been some Forbidden and Limited lists in Yu-Gi-Oh's history that have been, like, so devastating to the meta, the natural power level, the ceiling has gone down.
Well,
but I do believe you are correct that
that
Konami will eventually just reset it.
Yeah, they have to, or the game is literally just going to be, all right, flip a coin, who wins? Okay, I win.
It's kind of like that right now, isn't it?
I mean, yes.
I don't actually know what the actual meta is right like now.
Yes, it's awful.
No,
the biggest problem with the meta right now, and we've said this multiple times, but is that it costs a small mortgage to get into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes, no, that's a key issue that is not likely to get fixed this year because Konami is still experiencing hella product delays. Like, every single product is, like, delayed until 2 months later. So even if they wanted to get you reprints on the cheap, they can't in a timely fashion. Though, hey, everybody pray, and I'm pretty sure Konami will do it because they've already done it, but it was announced that in the OCG, the Crystal Beast structure deck will come with a free Ash, so it's going to sell. I suspect the TCG will do the same because they have already done that, and they know that sells structure decks.
Well, Omega, I tried.
Yeah, I see. But it is also now time to bring up our next card, which is a spell card, actually, because we've been mentioning off and on, but we should actually talk about it. The thing is that Geartown here, the actual field spell. No, Castle was not a field spell. That was a continuous. How dare you?
Yeah.
Their actual field spell didn't come out until Duelist Genesis. And again,
yes.
There was no Ancient Gear support throughout all of 5Ds, or Zexal, really. Now, obviously, there were other similar archetypes. Like, I don't think you could necessarily hybrid Gear, but Gear existed, right? Like, Earth Machines did stuff, but they did not directly touch Ancient Gears until...
Unfortunately, a lot of the Earth Machines left Ancient Gear in the dust until a specific card came out.
Yeah.
The wait
Geartown
for this field spell fucking killed me.
Yeah, I know. I understand. It's like, when I looked at the numbers, I was like, wait a minute. This didn't come out until Duelist, like, after GX, technically? I know there's always some blowback when we transition sets, but still.
No, this was the first 5D set.
Yeah. But, like, it's still... now, admittedly, it got reprinted a shitload. Not that matters just in Prague, but it was reprinted in the Gear Rampage structure deck, in the second version of the Ancient Gear, the Machine Reactor structure deck. And I didn't know this, but if you want to pimp your Geartowns, it was printed as an ultra rare in Ghost from the Past. That is its highest rarity printing. The only thing above common this card has been printed at was as a rare in Turbo Pack 7. This truly is the people's champion.
No, Ancient Gear has always, especially the we'll talk about the Arc V support, but that didn't get to anywhere over Super, and this was in the Super and over every pack, right? Gear has always been a Pauper's champion deck of
Geartown.
Like this, it's a very budget OTK, like, because Sydra's always been the bougie Ancient Gear.
Yeah,
it's like, I can afford all these $5 million reprints. But no, Ancient Gears is dirt cheap.
So what Geartown does is both players can normal summon Ancient Gear monsters for one less tribute. So your 1 tributes are no tribute, and your 2 tributes are 1 tribute. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from wherever the fuck you feel like, basically. Hand, deck, or graveyard. And in case you guys didn't know, special summon 1 from hand, deck, or graveyard is like the most busted ass summon condition. The only way this could get better is if it could return from banished, or if it could fish out your extra deck monsters who don't have to be fusion summoned. Like,
yeah, and the return from banished I don't think has ever been printed on a card like that.
No, and on it was an ultra, so it goes against kind of the thing, but you could get access to Burial from a different dimension at this time period. I don't think it was a common reprint for a while, but Burial existed to let you put it back in your graveyard if you really wanted that route.
Summon from extra deck does exist, but
yeah. in specific
Those
circumstances. But yeah, no. And obviously, as we pointed out with Giltron Dragon, regular Ancient Gear Golem can't be specialed unless you have an effect like Ultimate's effect to fish him out. Giltron Dragon can, and that's still a 3K beater with the Ancient Gear effect. He just doesn't do piercing. So, and again, it just says when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. So we don't care how you destroy it. And if you guys don't know, historically, Geartown was super broken for a while because of a rulings issue, which was it used to be ruled that when you replaced your own field spell with a new field spell, that counted as destroying that, which means you could Geartown into Geartown to get your Geartown summon.
Yeah, Geartown isn't the card that broke it. I can't remember what field spell. I think it might have been what's the Star Wars Wizard of Oz archetype?
Cosmotown?
Cosmo?
Yeah, I think it might have been Cosmotown that caused that ruling to have to be
because that's an in archetype tutor anything when popped.
Yeah, that's a tutor anything, which isn't as good, but also Cosmo was like a meta deck for years.
Yeah.
So, and no offense to the Ancient Gear Bows, they aren't.
Well, I've got a phone call. So, for a while from there, also though art-wise, once I forgot, art-wise, this is rad. I love this. Look at this. Who's this little town?
This is a very like weird anime kind of style thing I love, or like old like Cool World kind of art.
It for some reason it gives me like PS2 era video game nostalgia, because like these big blocky buildings and gears are probably really easy to model.
This gives me. This is gonna sound very specific, oh my god. This gives me weird, like budget post-apocalypse, but like really weird post-apocalypse movies, like Repo the Genetic Opera kind of movies, where it's like the post-apocalypse was caused by organ harvesting, as opposed to like the normal ones.
Yeah.
I really see this as like. So like say like a PS2, I really image this is like the weird ancient society that's shown in the opening cutscene that as like it does the whole high budget CGI thing as all the gears are like shattering and then like the apocalypse starts to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, you are also absolutely correct, Architect. I didn't name drop Kingdom Hearts, but you are right. This gives me Kingdom Hearts World vibes.
See, that makes me hate the card more.
Well, that's because you're dead inside.
No, I just hate Kingdom Hearts.
And it's because you're dead inside.
No, it's because
I
of the
have
fan
Kingdom
base and the
well,
games.
You're all dead inside.
Okay.
If I play Traverse Town right now and you don't become emotionally devastated, you have no soul. You're dead to me.
I don't know what that means.
If I don't play Dearly Beloved and you start weeping,
I still also don't know what that.
I know
But
what
you're not gonna get me,
seriously,
Omega.
I have played all the games.
I
and
know
more
it's because
about-
you're dead
I have
inside.
been-
You have no soul.
I bet
No,
you don't
it's
get
just
it.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god, Dallas, let me finish.
No, I was in the middle of talking. You
All right,
don't
you
get
go.
to interrupt me and say, "Let me finish."
I'll let you
But
finish,
no,
but-
it's because those aren't the kinds of games I enjoyed when I was a kid. I didn't enjoy ARPGs when I was a kid. They were difficult. And then when I was old, Kingdom Hearts is too easy.
Well,
the
I mean,
problem.
it's not if you make it that way.
Yeah, but remember, Omega, this is something I can concede to you on. I'm a lunatic when it comes to game difficulty.
True. I mean, there are some weird runs in Kingdom Hearts, like critical job stuff, but you'd have to be into that. There are
Well,
challenge
yeah,
runs.
I don't like artificially difficult. That's not what I'm into. I don't like tie your leg behind your back and play the game. Like that's not fun to me. I'm talking about like Soulsborne games, stuff like that, where I'm like,
yeah,
I like that kind of.
I will leave other people who definitely exist, preferably not right now because we got other shit to do. But I will leave other people to debate Dallas on how hard Kingdom Hearts can make itself by picking certain options.
I just wanted to say the one thing is like for me it's like I just have a bad history of Kingdom Hearts because I've loved those games, but then I've just been disappointed with a lot of decisions over
Well,
the
I
last
mean,
few years.
3 sucks. Can we at least agree on that? 3 was a disappointment.
3 was a mess.
What the fuck did I come back to?
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, it's showing no
Kingdom
data. I don't know if
Hearts.
the stream is working.
Well, Kingdom
Okay,
Hearts
we're back. Excellent
3
connection.
is
Okay.
awful, but yeah.
I'll stand alone. I mean, I don't know if I would say it's good,
Okay.
but I am allowed to subjectively say I had a fine time, but I would like to posit I did a thing that not a lot of people did. I literally, in the build-up to 3, bought the Kingdom Hearts story so far and replayed basically every Kingdom Hearts game except Chain of Memory Re because fuck that game. Oh my god, it's so hard. I hate it.
Yeah.
I did it.
I do not have the patience for that anymore. But
Wait, which one was Chain of Memory the card game one? Because I like
Yes.
that game. Oh, I love Chain of Memories.
But are you talking
that's
about the
pretty-
GBA port or the time they made it 3D?
They made it 3D?
Yes, they ported
That's
it to
the
the
one I beat,
PS2,
yeah.
Dallas.
Okay, no, I've not. I'm talking
I
about
did
the
that
And
Game
they
Boy one.
they did not really. So they made it. They kept the card system, but then they made it the 3D action RPG,
That
and it's
sounds
really hard
awful.
because the boss arenas are like tiny. It's weird, and I'm like,
You gotta
damn,
have
dude, I do
zeros.
not
You
have.
gotta have zeros
Remember
ready.
we were talking about artificial difficulty? That sounds like it. But artificial difficulty is
I
the way of...
appreciate the effort, but it's also like
No.
really weird. Yeah.
When I say I love Chain of Memories, I am referring to the GBA game.
Yeah.
I love that game.
But
like
just to bring it up, I went through all of them
Okay.
in preparation to it as well. It just for me, it was more of like I didn't like how 3 was paced, and then like it was on until the DLC where they actually put all the bits that are actually important to me. But even then,
But yeah, no,
So-
I perfectly enjoyed it by going down this nostalgic trip because I was like in everything. And yeah, I bought the rhythm game. I'm a sucker.
I'll be honest. I like, jokes aside, because I do love making fun of Kingdom Hearts fans because they
Everyone-
get
that's against no
very
rules.
mad, and it's very interesting to me. They sound like angry Donald Ducks. But no, I just missed the boat on Kingdom Hearts. I didn't play. it
I
until, like,
tried to summon up the
2018.
sound.
I
but I couldn't
I
do
didn't
it.
play the game until like 2018, so I just
That's
missed the boat.
fair. Like I said, I have personal attachment because I played the game when they came out when I was like 12.
No, I
Um,
didn't
I-
own a P. A lot of my video gaming history have been shaped by I was a very late Sony adopter.
that
Now,
also
Dallas,
explains.
I understand.
That
I,
also explains
okay.
why, and I'm glad to get Loth back because we can talk about the art of Geartown still. We already talked about its effect. It's stupid. But that also explains why you didn't think like early PS2 RPG because you don't have those memories.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I've already said that's why
But,
I do genuinely still think I would have came to this. I'd like to think I'm objective enough to come to this opinion on its own, but that is a big reason why I love Final Fantasy VI and have no feelings for Final Fantasy VII. Because I didn't play 7 until like
way later.
14. When did it get ported to cell phones?
Seven's
Yeah.
depends on when they. It would also depend if what script you played on. 7 is a weird case. Remake's rad.
7
but,
aged very poorly.
Like, I'll say this, but like,
I
not
like-
exactly. Oh, yes, Marv.
No, finish
Sorry,
your
go
thought.
ahead.
You,
don't
you
ever
go
stop.
first.
Stop cutting yourself off.
Axe,
You were
I
going
will delete you. Do not
Similar
delay the
to-
conversation for your false politeness. Loth, speak.
Similar to Dallas, I believe it was in high school, so somewhere between 2008 to 2012 for me, was when I played Kingdom Hearts. I played 2 first, and then went back to play 1.
It's a better game.
2 is a better game, but then I ended up being one of those people who went, Fox is way better than Sora. Fuck this kid.
I mean, if you want to talk
Kinda
gameplay,
is.
I do still think 2 is the
Yeah.
peak of the gameplay in the series. But
Yes.
anyway, that's a different conversation that has to
It's
do
also
with
before they
Geartown.
started doing
That-
the thing where
that-
they
that has something to do
recycle the
with
characters.
interference of the Disney computer entertainment with, ooh, what if we put theme park rides as our summons? Die. Whichever executive
Die.
suggested that, die.
They literally do nothing. They're awful.
Again,
What, you
3 is a
don't like the
mess.
summon system in Kingdom Hearts 3?
I actually didn't like the summons in the other
especially
games
since
either.
I just played that game, I deeply miss drives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Anyway.
I'm not a
Try-
huge...
That's a future-proofing problem.
Like when you fuck up a drive and get was it anti-form, I was still like, yeah, let's go.
And the board was pretty good.
I'll say this. I'm not a huge fan of the combat in any of the Kingdom Hearts games. It's just not my style. But God, can I notice how much better 2 is than 3 and 1.
Yeah, it's by
Yeah.
the people that did the spin-off games, so it's not as.
So
Which doesn't make any sense, because some of those spin-off games are rough.
the funniest thing looking at this card art
Yeah.
is that you got these gears and they look like they've got windows, so they're like apartment buildings.
Yeah, it's a town made of gears, a gear town.
I just imagine like,
Anyway, I think it's time. We've done enough of our divestiture.
Wait, one last comment on the art.
Okay.
So you also hear a jazz theme tune when you see that art, right?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I
No.
just hear
Yeah.
saxophone music.
it's either jazz or a mix of jazz and electronica.
I'm more into. Maybe I'm the weird. For
Yes.
Geartown or for Geartown, I'm more image.
Say it.
the silence before it's then showing like disaster and screaming.
Yes, no.
Yeah, you
for
are
ancient-
weird. That's weird.
For Ancient Gear Box.
Because I image opening.
Okay.
You image a very specific thing, yes, that none of us has imaged.
No, the image. The only song I hear when I see Ancient Gearbox is Alice in Chains, but
Yeah, we
that's
pulled,
all I'm
but
I was
since
thinking
Dallas
Soundbox.
doesn't remember Traverse Town, I will post it, which is actually kind of a. It's a very swingy with some
Oh,
breath
I
sections.
also don't play video games with music on, so I wouldn't have noticed it even if it's
You okay,
Wow.
Dallas? You have
That takes away
confirmed
from
you
the
do
game.
in fact have no soul. You are dead to me.
That takes away. That takes away.
No, I just have my
Because
own
OSTs
playlist.
are fucking amazing.
Oh.
Your
You know,
your
really-
musical tastes are not better than the orchestrally crafted works of musical geniuses.
Bon Jovi is better.
Page 2 had a
Incorrect.
great
You know what?
Go
soundtrack.
back to New
So
Jersey.
many video games have their music literally specifically timed for
Yeah,
things
but
to
hair
be
metal,
better.
though.
What do you mean I
Never
can't
felt
drag
conflicted about
Dallas
a
into the
single
recycle
comment
bin?
ever.
I feel like I'm triggering everyone involved.
I just got what Lot said. It took a second, buddy.
Thank you.
I
Took
didn't
a
hear it.
second.
Sorry.
He said, "What do
Cycle
you
what?
mean I can't put Dallas in the recycle bin?"
Okay.
Anyway,
so,
Agent Gearbox.
yeah.
we-
Agent Gearbox.
We really got off that one. He is
This one.
a box.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I had something to say about the art that reminds me of. It reminds me of the luggage from Terry Pratchett's Discworld series. The thing that just pops in and it disappears.
That is kind of true.
The way he looks and the way he like is trying to reach into himself, he's like a friendly helper robot who's like, "Oh, okay, boss, you want a bench?
Hold on, I don't have any eyes. I can't see. I also appreciate your super chat, Filthy Casual.
Agent
Oh,
Gear
are they?
Mimic.
Are they?
Them
yeah.
sexy words,
Somebody
Dallas.
gave me $5 Canadian to shit talk you in big bright colors.
No, I'm not gonna defend myself on this one. I know I'm weird on that take. I'll
That was,
defend my Kingdom Hearts take. I'm not defending my music take.
Okay, I was about to say, okay, in terms of music, can you promise me that when you get back into 14, you played with music?
Oh no, I've
that is-
listened to the music. I just also listen to like podcasts and news shows while I play video games.
Okay.
But
Nah,
yeah,
I've done
so
the same, but with farming.
yeah, so Gearbox is a box with gears. I think he's adorable. I especially like how they've given him this really like big bow-legged walk. You can just imagine him jangling towards you. Ching, ching,
Yeah.
ching, ching, ching.
Also,
yeah.
you see like how some of the at the front of his little gears thing here, it looks like there's one with a pipe coming out of it. You can see it's connected, but in a way, it almost looks like a crank. So you can just be like, do,
Yeah, that is very good. Yeah.
just wind him up.
Yes, he is a man that is a box.
Yes,
Um,
he's cute, adorable, meant to help you. Not a very good card in some aspects, but useful.
He's a consistency card.
yeah,
Oh,
he's good.
the best Ancient Gear card ever printed. Spoiler. This is the Ancient Gear card that's in every Earth machine.
He gets even better once you get.
Well,
each
yeah,
gear
no.
version.
The main thing is they did that thing they do where this guy is legacy support, except he's not.
But he's also generic.
none of his card effect text actually matters for Ancient Gears, other than that some Ancient
no,
Gears.
it's pretty good for Ancient Gear.
I mean, no, it
If
is.
you
It's
wanna-
just that because they have synergy with his stat line, his actual effect text has nothing to do with Ancient Gears, other than it says his own name because he's got a hopped.
Unless you want to get was it Ancient
Wyvern?
Gear, like Ancient Gear gadget to your hand.
Yeah.
That's the only other target in Ancient Gears he's used for. I mean, you can do fucking Ancient Gear itself, but fuck that card.
Can
But
he
what you do
also
is-
search Flame?
No, Frame has a big attack point.
Oh, right.
It's 1800, I believe.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Ancient Gear Frame is just Machina Gear Frame, but an Ancient Gear instead.
Yeah. But this guy is good because, unlike other Ancient Gear cards, his stat line means you put him in defense mode.
Yeah, so Ancient Gear Box is a level 4 Earth Machine, which is a very good combo. He has 500 attack and 2k defense. And then if this card is added from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except by drawing it, you can add one Earth Machine type monster with 500 attack and or defense. Though actually, we have to double check if Ancient Gear Frame has 500 defense. I don't remember. Because it might be 1k, but it could be 500.
Let me pull up EDO Pro.
But add an Earth Machine type monster with 500 attack and/or defense from your deck to your hand, except Ancient Gearbox. You can only use this effective Ancient Gearbox once per turn.
Oh, no, Omega's correct. 500 defense, 1600 attack.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
he's
yeah, you
searchable.
do. I remember you fetch.
Yeah,
frame.
so he has synergy in his own deck.
Yeah, especially because Wyvern, which is Ancient Gear's premier normal,
Yeah.
or one of them, searches this card. So you
Yes.
can go Wyvern search, block search frame,
And there you go.
and then
then
or you can. Yeah.
let me look at
list,
the tip section. Does it name check a lot of good cards you can get?
It names. Yeah, it has a lot of what can add it from deck, and 2 of them are Ancient Gear cards. So at least it's something.
Oh, he can add Knight. That has 500 defense and 1800
Those are good.
attack.
List of Earth Machine monsters with 500 attack or defense other than Ancient Gear. So they've
Ancient Gear Cannon.
They've got a full list here. The Ancient Gear cards it can add are Cannon, Frame, Gadget, and Knight. It can add the entire Deskbot archetype.
Yup.
You can add most of the Gear Gias. Gear Gi Anchor, Gear Giano, Gear Giano Mark II, Gear Gi Arsenal,
You use
Gear
Anchor to
Geiger.
get it usually.
You can add Infinitrack, several
Infinitrack
Infinitracks.
Trencher is the important
Yes.
one.
You can, if you still wanted to play Karakuris, you could add several of the important ones. I don't know if Peacekeeper is important, but you can add Peacekeeper. Hilariously, for us, you can add Morphtronic Borden and Spiral Quick Fix. Those are funny names. And you can also add several Super Heavy Samurais. So, guess what? I name-checked several good Earth Machine decks in there.
I've considered running this card in Super Heavies.
Also, there are a fuck ton of ways to search him.
Another
Oh my
fun
God.
tech choice, if you wanted to do Ancient Gear Synchro, is Magical Hound, which is a Earth Machine tuner
Yeah, no, it's not like that, and that's not a bad
who can
thing.
bounce a face-up spell trap card.
To special summon himself, yeah. You can only do that once per
But-
duel, but still.
No, the general Earth Machine combo, though, is Search Trencher. Because Trencher specials itself, specials from deck.
Yeah.
And you've got full combo there.
Yeah, so it's a good card. Oh, hey, and guess what? When this was printed in 2014 as a new card in Primal Origin, this was a common. Once again,
Yeah.
Ancient Gears is kind of the people's champion type deck. Like this is the popper
Earth
format.
Machines in general have always been like the people's deck of
The common charity deck.
Like, to
not
be
quite
fair,
common, they're not quite common charity because a lot of them are rares, but they're definitely the low end of that.
Yeah.
I enjoy Ancient, like I remember when I watched GX the first time, I enjoyed Ancient Gears way more than Hero.
I think I did too. Well, until I had a really big thing for certain hero cards.
I mean,
Wait, an Ancient Gear deck? Hold on. What the fuck is
no,
this?
Dallas is
No,
finding stuff.
Dallas just can't get over Neos's.
I found an
role,
Ancient.
clearly.
No, I had a thing for you.
Yeah, that's an element of Hero.
Well, I mean, yes, Neos Wiseman and Neos Kluger. No, an Ancient Gear deck placed top 16 in a YCS in 2018.
Not surprised. In 2018? No, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can still
Oh
be
no,
pure
sorry.
black.
It's not a pure Ancient Gear deck. What archetype do you think it was combined with? Spoiler, you're not
Uh-huh.
gonna get it.
Oh, invoked.
2018?
No.
No, because the only card you
Maka.
can inherently summon would be
No, it's-
Magellanic.
Ancient Gear True Draco.
I mean, I guess you have continuous.
I mean, I
spells.
wouldn't have thought of that, but yeah, sure, why not? You have continuouses, like X said.
What they ran. Also, they put Diagram to 3 for a while again.
Ah,
I don't
well,
know why they did that.
yeah,
But they
I'm-
ban-
God knows why. For GX archetypes, I mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't watch GX very thoroughly when I was young. I'm pretty sure I liked some E-heroes. I definitely liked Sidra. There was a guy who briefly attempted to use Red Eyes, but I'm pretty sure he
I
jobbed
always
most of the
liked-
show. So
I always liked the villain archetypes from GX.
Oh.
Like, I love Arcana Force. I love Yubel.
I don't think I
love
watched the.
Dark Heroes.
I cleanly watched the
Heroes,
episodes
yeah.
where Chaz used armed dragons because I think I would have liked them, but I didn't remember them from the way back.
Oh, yeah, Atticus, or Night Shroud, technically, who is not Atticus, but actually a demon from another dimension called the Darknet. GX's story is weird.
Yeah. There's a couple of retcons in GX also, I think it's fair to say.
Funny enough, I did learn this earlier, faction trivia. For once Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki came in handy. Whoever did their DDD section, I must applaud you. Fun fact, the DDD Apocalypse Kings are all art-wise representative of the main villains of their particular series. One is Zone, one is Dawn 1000, and one is Night Shroud / Zork. The fusion one. Fun fact.
Anyway,
yeah, the DDD Chaos King Apocalypses.
Yes, I have brought forth Ancient Gear Gadget.
Good card.
A guy you look at and he would look at you and be like, mem, 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 mem.
Yeah, this art is not great.
It's weird.
They've made
Not
some
gonna
weird
lie.
choices to make him both an Ancient Gear and a gadget. And I gotta be
He
honest.
is ancient.
Go ahead,
Yep.
Loth.
He's Ancient Gear Clank.
See, you see
That's
that.
pretty good.
I see this card just screaming for me to kill it.
I think that they leaned a little too heavily on the gadget design, but they kept enough of the gears that you're just kind of like, okay, that's weird.
It's meant to be the
Okay,
bridge.
this is gonna be a 1%er joke. You know what robot this honestly reminds me of? Or not a joke even, just a... This looks like a robot from Treasure Planet.
I can
Does,
see
kinda.
that,
I
yeah.
can see that.
It has the color scheme.
It's just the face. Or Robots, if you remember that weird-ass movie.
I don't.
I do remember robots.
That movie was really
Okay,
fucking dark
actually-
for a kid's movie.
I think so. Yeah. It's been a while since I watched
Oh,
it.
you mean the
that-
Bulgarian
Why don't I remember that
version?
movie now? Yeah.
Well,
Vaguely.
no, the
Yeah, that.
All right, guy, let's not get too deep in the robots movie discourse.
Yeah. The gear thing reminds me of something from the mini things from this one boss monster in Butterfly that was just old gears and faces.
Oh my god, this will also be a weird 1%er reference. He's a fucking mini-con.
God damn it.
That one went over my head.
Transformers.
Yeah, one of the Transformers animated series. Tiny robots that gave them extra abilities.
Also known as Sell More Toys.
Yes.
But
No,
yeah,
this card looks derpy as shit.
I will say, there are at least important notes here. He does have the 3 gears of different colors in his chest, so, you know, the gadget thing. So, they trying.
Yeah,
And
he's got a good effect.
do recall his name being Ancient Gear Gadget for later. That will be important later.
Yes, he is one of the cards that makes a certain boss monster fucking stupid if you manage to tribute it.
And
with-
also, Gadget is searchable by your boy Box because it has 500 attack. Actually, it has the exact same stat line as Box, which is very funny. It's got 500 attack and 2k defense. Anyway, Ancient Gear Gadget, another level 4 machine again. Powerful zone, does stuff.
same
I-
stats as Bob.
Also, I'm going to be honest, that's a funny joke about Fail Portrayal Transformers. I have absolutely no background
many.
in that, so unless you want... They specifically said Armada, but unless you want me to just be the ignorant bumblefuck who just, like, looks at card art people, or character art, I should say, people show him and just is like, yes, my favorite Transformer,
I'll
Purple
just be
Truck Nuts fan.
I'll just be making fun of their names the entire time. 'Cause
Yeah,
I will never get over that.
He's Optimus Prime. Optimus
I
Prime
do
is
think there
Optimus
are some,
Primal.
we've talked about this, there are some asides. I would love to do a fail portrayal about L5R card art through the years because some of the old
I
cards
mean,
are stupid and some of the new cards are beautiful.
Again, I would.
I mean,
feel
I
like that'd
can't
be fun,
explain
like,
the rules to you.
Omega. What is a time that's not your birthday we could do it? Because I feel like it's your birthday would be too late.
I mean, I don't know. We could make that another sub goal. We could make that 250. Do another weird one for like L5R. I've also joked about fail portrayal 40k minis.
No,
I mean, there's too many of those, but hey.
Oh, Omega.
No. It would be like Magic Axe. We would curate.
Okay.
You know what we need to do?
What's
oh,
up?
I
What-
could help with the Warhammer 40k one.
I also know
Oh,
a few
same.
of the classic ones.
Fantasy, I know nothing about it, but 40k, I've got you.
I will say, Brain. I thought with 250 we would like maybe like do Gaia. I guess we do that before like
we should
4,500.
do fail. We should do fail portrayal. It'd be a bit of a crossover, but one of these days we should do fail portrayal servant portraits.
Oh, we should do servants and have like.
There's some we need to talk about. Like,
Yeah, there are
some
a
of the
few-
transitional ones that are just
Oh,
like.
wait.
There-
Fail Portrayal FGO.
That might work as a good audience bridge. I'll think of that one. I have to check. When did we start? What like date? What's our like 1 year anniversary of Fail
You
Portrayal?
want
Have
to
we
do that for
crossed
like,
it already?
like your anniversary, I
I
guess.
don't think we have yet. No, I think.
Actually,
that
let me go
is,
find.
like,
Let me go
Yeah,
find the
somebody
first episode. Let me
run
go find
somebody
the
run
date.
me down the date.
I
Don't
think it
like
might be August.
don't like if it's one of you guys. Don't like bust in here and yell it out loud. Type it so I can check it later. But like, yeah, if somebody wants to
I'll
run
just
that
grab.
down for me.
I'll see if I can find the first episode. Is it in the playlist?
Yeah, it should be at the top of the playlist. But anyway, Ancient Gear Gadget's effect is when this card is normaled or specialed, declare one card type, monster, spell, or trap. This turn, if your monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell, trap, or monster effects, whatever was declared until the end of the damage step.
Omega, also your high. Just
What's
I
up?
want to say this because of earlier. We already did fail portrayal gladiator piece.
We did? I could have sworn we did.
Yeah.
I literally don't remember it. I feel
It
like
might
we
been
would
a
have.
second part.
Actually,
to
we could do it
something
coming
else.
up. Actually,
No, we've already passed our 1 year.
Oh, we
Your
have already
fifth year
passed
anni-
1
your
year.
5th anniversary for FGO for Let's Talk could be it.
Maybe, but what was the date of the first one?
I can't. Why does YouTube know helpful? What date is this?
Well, Axe, you've typed 2017, so that's incorrect.
Oh, that's for Let's Talk. I was.
Yeah, that's not the anniversary I was talking about.
One
It's-
moment.
I mentioned the Fail Portrayal anniversry. I don't care about our channel anniversary. That has nothing to do with Fail Portrayal. We will do our own thing then.
Hero Devastation, I feel like, is the first one.
Well, not the D Hero one. It's the E. But if there's one earlier than D Hero and we've already passed D Hero, then yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
Aaron
D-Hero
got it.
is-
April 21st. Okay, so we passed it. I didn't even realize. Well, rip. I think we did do something fun around April. Okay. Well, we'll
To
think
be
of future-
fair,
I think you did magic.
yeah, we did that for April.
Well, that was
Yeah,
April
yeah.
1st.
To be fair, we didn't
Yeah,
do them weekly for a while.
It's true. We did not have a regular system for a little bit.
Yeah, we did like Hero, and then like months later we did another one.
I still think.
I will look into this later.
Sorry.
We do not need yet another diversion. We will figure out other dumb fun stuff to do, but we are not even halfway through this list. In case
Oh,
people
boy.
forgot how many fucking Ancient Gears got printed.
Yep.
So
there's a lot.
Gadget's other effect is once per turn you can declare one Gadget monster's card name until the end phase. This card's name becomes that name. So this was released in the Machina second structure deck, not Machina, Machine Reactor, sorry. Though there were two Machina decks. The Machine Reactor structure deck, so the retrain of the Ancient Gear Gadget one. So they kind of tried to backport that effect. I don't think you really need it in most decks, but the fact that this has a on normal or special declare effect is pretty good. This actually lets you out monster effects, which is pretty funny.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, it's a good boy.
Yeah. Like he's a little bit awkward to use,
Mhm.
but he's not bad.
He is at least preeminently searchable.
Yeah. Like he's good as fusion material is what I usually see.
Fusion
Yes.
tribute material.
Well, the problem is the deck has too many normal summons at this point.
Yeah, they did not have enough good normals, so Konami compensated by giving them a shitload of good normals.
Yeah, they have two normals that are vying for the attention of the deck. Frame and Wyvern. So
And also, maybe this asshole. Not really, but there is also Hunt and Hound.
Yeah.
no, Hunt and Hound is a lot easier to special.
Hunt and Hound, I will say, I understand that this is
card art is not great.
this is a anime mook card. It kind of feels like Ancient Gears at home. I'm gonna be real with you.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest though, background still big dick swinging.
Yes, the backgrounds are good, but the actual design of this card is definitely like Ancient Gear Beast at home.
I mean, again, it's meant to be like it feels like a mass production Ancient Gear. Which
No, that's
It
literally what it
is. It was used by the Fusion Dimension mooks.
The Nazis.
Yeah,
the
Nazis.
fusion Nazis.
But yeah, like it's
Yeah, they did
it's
that.
obviously supposed to evoke the design of Beast, but is less threatening. But it also is like it's a little cartoony derpy. Like he's got his mouth isn't even that threatening. He's just got like 4 little spikes and then a couple of something. I do want to say I don't like his tooth spike design. It's really weird because I think they're supposed to be squared based on this, because otherwise the perspective doesn't make any goddamn sense. But also they're drawn like they're like bayonet blades. I don't know. Something weird is going on there.
The bases are squared, but the edges are tipped.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
It goes from a weird pyramid into a cone.
yeah.
It is a Lunar Narrative Disco Biscuits of design.
Like
His,
I
weird
assume
shoulder
that
pads.
this design was very easy to make CG renders for the anime of. It just
Yeah.
drawn traditionally looks weird. I just can't help but think of his shoulder pads as just giant chunks of tire. I know they're metal, but like with the ridges, I'm just like, what are your tire shoulders?
They make him look a lot fatter than he actually is.
Yes, he's weirdly derpy. I do once again like that they're keeping the different eye color. Like he's got like kind of a bright pink, so you know we're still doing different things. But yeah.
Oh, speaking of eyes, did anyone notice that with Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, he had 3 of the red eyes?
I don't think we brought that up earlier. No, that's a good note to note. Haha. So, Hunt Hound, my Hunt Hound.
I love hunting
Is
hound.
a level 3 Earth machine with 1k. My God, a stat line that makes sense. If this card is normal, then inflict 600 damage to your opponent. That's an anime burn effect. If this card attacks, your opponent can't activate spell traps. And then also, he is a weird guy who has a third effect, which Loth has used to completely slap our shit occasionally.
Yeah!
Because he, while they did not get a fusion spell for a couple of years after this, I think, more like 1 year, but still, because they released this card actually quite late in the Arc V cycle. This was early 2017 once again, but still, yeah, he just has a once per turn, a soft once per turn effect, by the way, that his monster effect is to fusion summon an ancient gear fusion monster using monsters from your hand or field's materials. So yeah, this guy's just Polly on a stick.
Fun fact.
Which makes him more searchable.
Fun fact for this
Polymerization has
card.
received a lot of ways to search it.
Yeah. Gundos?
Yeah. This card has 3 fusion cards that have never been released.
Yeah, there's like Cerberus style stuff, right?
There's 2 different.
Because there's
Cerberus
Double
moves.
Dog and then there's the Triple Dog head, I think.
No, there's
Triple Dog.
Double Dog, Triple Dog, and Ultimate Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
weird.
we need to show this art.
I
Sorry.
think we-
Okay. If you got the stuff,
yeah,
post it in the channel.
yeah,
I'll
I think
paste
we
it out.
talked about
I'll try and find a
before.
better one, but this art
But
is
not here.
atrocious.
The
Then
other
there's
thing...
like,
Oh, sorry.
I know there's like at least 4 different fusion cards they did not release from the anime.
Yeah,
One
I
of them is
assume
just,
they will eventually.
One of them is broken because it just says, hey, all those extra deck monsters you used before this, they become now your Ancient Gear monsters that can just become Ancient Gear Chaos Giant.
Yeah. But looking at Hound and thinking about like the way his design looks and then remembering Gadgetron Chimera, you can honestly see like some similarities there as well.
Yeah. Oh my god, I posted that art, but
Yeah, what's the name of this monstrosity?
Ancient Gear, Ultimate Ancient Gear Hunting Hound.
Hmm.
Where's that guy?
Well, he's a fusion of a card that doesn't exist.
Aw.
He's a fusion of they stack. There's Double Hound, Triple Hound, and Ultimate Hunting Hound.
Yeah, I guess the.
Give me my mechanical dogs.
I mean, the question is if it would be broken or not.
I don't think Ultimate Hunting Hound would be. It just halves your life points, but it's literally a 4-step fusion. Like, you have to fuse, then fuse, then fuse. I don't think that's, like, broken.
Also, I just realized there's a good Ancient Gear trap card that's not printed. I think Marth brought this up earlier. I just clicked on Unfinished Ancient Gear, and I was like, what's this do? Special summon Ancient Gear from your hand in defense position, ignoring summon conditions, but its attack and defense become halved, but it can't be destroyed by battle this turn. That's actually not broken, but good.
Honestly, I don't think any of these Ancient Gear Hunting Hound fusions are broken. I don't know about the other...
Okay, so double is dumb, because it's
Yeah.
literally 2 Ancient Gear Hounds, so that sucks. If this card attacks, they can't activate spell traps once per turn. When your opponent during either player's turn, if a monster is normal or special to your opponent's side of the field, place a gear counter on that monster. If at the start of a damage step, a monster with gear counter battle, destroy that monster. That's interesting, but this card has like shitty stats, so
Yeah.
triple is either 3 Ancient Gear Hunting Hounds or 1 Ancient Gear Hunting Hound and a double Ancient Gear Hunting Hound. This card can make up to 3 attacks, and then your opponent can't activate spell traps. That is also perfectly balanced because it's only got 1800 attack. And then ultimate is when fusion summon, your opponent's life point is halved, and then it can make 3 attacks. That actually has a decent stat line, but again, that requires triple and then 1 Ancient Gear monster.
Yeah, it requires so much setup that it's like, I don't know how broken it would be.
Yeah, the only way to make this at all possibly meta relevant would be if they produced a card that said this monster's name counts as Ancient
Well, I mean,
Gear
you
Hunting
could
Hound.
cheat it out, but the thing I think, like, having effects are, to me, safer. Like, I think a card that reads have your opponent's life points and doesn't have an hard once per turn is more balanced than a card that says deal 1,000 damage and isn't hard once per turn. Because you can never kill someone who haven't.
And you've already had to make ultimate. You've already had to use up all your hunting hounds.
And if you're playing a Dinomorphia player, you have made the mistake.
They get access to Pot of Greed now. Anyway, guess what, chat? You're going to be ultimate hunting hound now. Enjoy that. Enjoy that now.
Yeah,
you get to be in the doghouse.
It looks like a refrigerator. Can we talk about that?
Yes,
like
it had a refrigerator
looks
body.
like a refrigerator. In the,
and also, it's like the design of its heads, and like was completely different than Hunting Hound, which is
like I get it's the fusion dimension effect, which is like the starving venom, like creepy purple dragon stuff. But we'll get to another Ancient Gear fusion that wears that effect much better.
But also, speaking of Ancient Gears with multiple heads, I think we have a much better attempt at this look. Ancient Gear Hydra.
It's a card?
Yeah.
I've also never seen this one.
Yes.
So he's another, like, 2 tribute
like
style
Chimera.
boss monster, but he's not as good as the other guys you can make out of the second structure deck, so.
Yeah. I figured.
It's an okay card, and I love this card art.
No, I figured. This card, not to be mean to the card, but this card reads okay from looking at it.
Yes. But like I said, I love the card look. We're doing weird things with, like, the Giltron, like...
This card is peak mid.
I like the tail, like, head just looking at, like,
Marr.
Okay,
Why am I the tail?
where's the comic? I need to post this.
Why am I the tail? It's got the same, like, collar gadget thing as, like, Giltron Dragon does, only now there's, like, a different head for each slot, which I like, and they all look different. I love the one with, like, the, like, Triceratops type head and the 3 eyes. Brr.
oh man, Ancient Gear Triceratops or something would be amazing.
These
We'll
guys are...
post it from
This card looks good. Yeah. Hold on. You guys are
looks
posting
good.
things. I had him in the copy. I got him.
Sorry, I had to do the...
Be strong.
No, that's okay. You guys are...
this comic is like one of my favorite memes I've ever seen.
Oh,
Yes, the comic is very good.
Like, be strong, Clarence. Be
So
strong,
was-
mother.
it's
right.
it's
Pokemon
from one of
fusions
the
are
it's from one of those Pokemon fusion things. It's called Weeping Duo. So there's a Weeping Bell head on one of the duo heads.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Hydra. Anybody else got anything to say about Hydra
I like
visually?
the yellow head, like the way they've done like part of the gears makes it look like it's got like ram horns.
I think I do like... Sorry, I do like this one more than
Chimera.
whatchamacallit, yeah, Chimera, just because I think it looks.
By the way, I would like to
better.
point out this does give us our sub theme. Not only do we have Ancient Gear war machines, we also have Ancient Gear classic mythical creatures. So when do we get Ancient Gear Sphinx and Ancient Gear Manticore?
Manticore would fit. I don't think Sphinx with Manticore is actually.
I mean, Sphinx is the actual pronunciation of Sphinx is Greek. Just because they stole the
Fair.
effect on the Egyptians. I believe we have a lot more hard and fast mythology about Greek sphinxes than we do about Egyptian ones. Though we do have some rad statuary. Sorry. That effect only works when you click that image. But yeah, if we don't have anything else to say about Hydra visually, I can read his effect.
Yeah.
So, Ancient Gear
assuming it
Hydra
has
is
to do
a
with-
level 7 Earth machine. It has 2,700 attack, 1,700 defense, so a decent stat line for a level 7. At the end of the damage step, when this card that was tribute summoned by tributing an Ancient Gear monster battles an opponent's monster, but that opponent's monster was not destroyed by battle, you can banish that opponent's monster. If this card was tribute summoned by tributing a gadget monster, it can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If an Ancient Gear monster you control attacks, your opponent can't activate spell traps. So, yeah, Hydra is an attempt, I think, to bridge the gap of the old gadget style. Obviously, with Ancient Gear Gadget, you can just tribute one gadget, possibly with Geartown, to make both of this guy's effects live, which are decent. He can banish things that aren't destroyed by battle, and he gets to attack all monsters each. Pretty solid. It's just... Ancient Gears have already moved away from tribute summoning as their use of their normal summon. Like, honestly, that would be a decent Ancient Gear spell card, would be Ancient Gears get an extra tribute summon. They don't get another normal, but they get an extra tribute. Because their guys are huge. Like, spoilers for upcoming this week soon, but Vampire support just came out again for, like, the 3rd time. But it includes ways for them to get an extra normal. It's very important for vampires because a lot of the key vampire cards are level 5 and higher. It's like a theme. So if Ancient Gears could get a version of that, probably not, like I said, like an extra normal summon, because being able to both, like, Wyvern and Gear Frame would probably be bad. But if they could get extra tributes, I think that would let some of their old cards come back. But yeah, it's definitely, like, it's a cool card. It's just, even in 2017, it's kind of like a clunky Band-Aid on a sub-theme we're not doing anymore. What's up? What's up, Dallas?
I found. No, don't ignore me.
Okay.
I found the Pokemon Fusion Generator, and I'm doing bad
okay.
things.
He's found the thing. All right. Okay.
I was just doing war crimes.
I mean, I can't blame Dallas. Y'all know how much I love Dolly Mini right now. I wonder if I wonder if I put Ancient Gear Hydra in Dolly Mini, what it'll come up with. I'll try that later. I don't think I want to do that on while I'm streaming. Maybe to wrap us up, but okay. I'm looking for the next card, which is spoilers. It's the next big one out of that structure deck. So let me scroll.
I need to show this.
This is definitely one of those card arts where I go full screen. I'm definitely like, I have notes. So,
Yeah.
this is Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon. Okay, so, there's some cool things about this. Once again, love that his design of his wings looks like beat up like leather sails or something. Why does he have a penis flower gun on his chest? And why are his
I don't
legs
know.
swords?
Well, I mean, he didn't have legs in the first art,
True.
so at least they didn't turn into swords.
Yeah.
As for why he has an artifact growing out of his chest, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. And actually technically they're not swords. I think they're pile drivers. They're pile bunkers, but still, like, okay. He has double leg wings now.
At least it's better than butt wings.
True. Hold on. Is that a? I'm gonna get the red pen out for everybody. I'm detail focused. If somebody hasn't posted this card art for Marth, go for it, because I'm like lasered in right now.
Will this work?
Does he have like a tiny skinny little blade coming out of his tail? I think he does.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so, I mean, this card did actually show up in the anime, so
Okay, yeah, the link does work. Good.
so like I think it tracks that we get a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Nobody listened to me when I said to post the card
I
art.
was looking.
No, I said the card art. You have to post it to Marth, because I was busy
Yeah.
drawing squiggles. I literally could have done it myself in the time that it
Sorry.
took any of the rest of the 4 or 5 of
In
you.
my defense,
I think
have
Marth
I
could
have-
go to Google Chrome and look it up himself faster.
I have no excuse because I'm playing 14 on the side.
It's true, you have no excuse. If Loth's a piece of shit who plays 14 and ignores the chat, give me $5.
I mean, you don't need $5 to reconfirm that I'm a piece of shit.
And other weird non sequiturs. Apparently, people want to pay money to yell at you guys. Yeah.
I was creating Smoosol, so
What?
Like,
I posted the link.
Okay, I took me a second to.
I actually can't find a good image for Reactor Dragon.
I mean, just
Maybe my
the
Google's
gallery.
being weird.
I appreciate that it got a animation in Master Duel.
Oh, I think he
I mean,
appreciates
he
it.
is
It's
a
just.
boss monster. Okay.
He. I will also post the anime art to y'all. He does not look any better.
Yeah, his anime art is not good.
Yeah.
Because he's even more like weirdly shaped. Look at the way his like pile bunker pinion legs like stick out straight down, and his tail like starts by going straight back. It's just
Gave him a sword arm.
yeah, he's just. This is very much the the start of Arc V era. Like, hey, let's take a Yu-Gi-Oh monster and let's bolt like 4 extra things on him.
Also, I see Allied Justice Team attached to it.
Yeah. Everybody has their own version of this weird
Wait,
bulbous thing on his
Is this
chest.
thing coming from a black hole?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's some kind of quote-unquote reactor. It's weird. I do like that the actual card art has a, like, ring behind him. That's cool. Yeah, this guy is... In concept, I like him. In detail, blown up, I'm like, there's way too much going on with this
I
dude.
think I remember
Yeah.
him being summoned by Yuri.
Yes.
When
That
he's
was correct.
smaller,
I looked at the trivia earlier.
yeah, when you've got a less like blown up image of him, he's great.
Yeah. But up close, you're like,
Not sure how to feel about this.
But yeah, no, this guy is absolutely this is the retrain of Giltron, so this guy is absolutely the fucker. So this guy...
Well, he's Omega. I'll argue that he is not quite the fucker yet. The fucker is soon.
True. There's the... as you might expect from a big bungus OTK deck, there are a lot of huge, chunky motherfuckers in Ancient Gear.
But to be fair, there's only oh my lord.
What's
There's
up?
only one I would describe. Nothing. Don't worry about it. There's only one I would describe as the fucker, and it's not Giltron.
But yeah, Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon is a level 9 machine. He is 3k, just like Ancient Gear Golem. If this card was Tribute Summoned by tributing an Ancient Gear monster, it gets Piercing. If this card was Tribute Summoned by tributing a Gadget monster, it can attack twice. If this card attacks, your opponent can't activate spell traps. And at the end of the damage step, if this card attacks, destroy a spell trap on the field. So, no matter what, this card gets the Ancient Gear spell trap effect and also gets an Ancient Gear Engineer style pop effect. Only it's on a good body. And then, if you use Geartown and Ancient Gear Gadget to Tribute Summon him for 1 tribute, you get Piercing and 2 attacks. So, this guy is still a decent target to Geartown summon. Like, you pop Geartown or, arrange it to be popped, and then you trick this guy out, because he doesn't have the no special summoning clause. Like, he's still better than Giltron, right? Because he has 2 effects no matter what. If you can actually tribute summon him, damn, that sucks. This guy has 2 attacks and has piercing both times, and he pops the spell trap each time.
But also, you could just cheat him out with fucking Geartown.
Yeah, as I said, you can also, like, he's still a decent Geartown cheat out, because he has 2 effects, as opposed to Giltron's 1 that's live. But like I said, if you can actually summon this guy the intended way by tributing a single Ancient Gear gadget, that slaps. Like, they're not chumping. And now, also in that structure deck blob, you know, in the Arc V time, there was one more main deck man anyway. We haven't talked about the couple of fusions that came out, and also technically, I'll pivot this to you because it would be next after Wyvern is what I'm about to pull up. Do we want to talk about Ancient Gear Golem now? Or do we want to save that for a technical Toon episode?
Let's save that for a Toon episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put it on my list. I wanted to ask you guys, but
It's more of a Toon, because I don't think I don't know about me, Loth. I've never played that card once in Ancient Gear.
No. Why would I play that card in Ancient Gears?
It's more of a Toon. It's like Toon Dark Magician. Like, Toon Dark Magician is a cornerstone of Toon.
One of the only Toon cards I've seen played outside of it in their archetype is like Toon Red Eyes.
Toon Sidra was played in Sidra because that deck's entire identity is making things named Sidra.
Yes. And Toon Red Eyes works in some decks because it is a Red Eyes monster that is level 7, so you can bin it for stuff.
Also, it's your boy.
Yeah, it's Wyvern. So to go back to Chimera, no, because this guy has teeth. Chimera's bird head was just a beak.
He also looks like
he has teeth.
He also looks like he has like a gear Gatling thing in his mouth.
I'm pretty sure all of these guys come equipped with flamethrowers.
Yeah, flame waffles.
Yeah.
But this is a really good design. Like, it's a little goofy. He's got teeth. His legs are kind of derpy, but also like, yeah, no, he's a Wyvern. An Ancient Gear. He's got some gears. He's got some good stuff going on. I admit we haven't done anything new with the eyes because they're kind of orange-yellow, but he's got 2 eyes. Terrifying. But yeah, no, it's Ancient Gear Wyvern. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else to say about that card art.
He's a good card.
Yeah. He is a good lad. Sorry, somebody used their special membership chat to say Toon Ancient Gear Golem is an abomination. All right, okay.
I mean, his art isn't great.
Maybe we should bring it up then.
I mean, all the Toons have a certain aesthetic to them inherently.
I don't think it's the worst Toon art. I still think the one that is the worst to me is Toon Dark Magician Girl because it makes me uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm not gonna get into that and unpack your psychological issues, but
you're just afraid of short stacks.
You guys remember Toon Blue Eyes, especially in the anime? What a little gremlin he was.
Yeah,
that card is demented.
Totally
the scariest Toon card is Toon Bookmark.
Well, yeah, because that means your opponent's playing Sky Striker. Ba-dum-pa.
Yeah.
You heard nothing.
Sorry.
There was no AoE mark underneath my feet.
There was just like slightly delayed reaction on that one.
Law stood in the fire.
Took me a moment to get that one.
He did.
Anyway,
he did an MMO sin.
Anyway, Ancient Gear Wyvern is another level 4 Earth machine. It has 1700 attack, 1200 defense. If this card is normaled or specialed, add an Ancient Gear from your deck to your hand, except Wyvern. But also, you can't set cards for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect hopped, and then if this card attacks, your opponent can't activate monster effects until the end of the damage step. So yeah, doing new things, giving you new tricks. But yeah, if normaled or specialed, just add Ancient Gear.
So Ancient Gear Reborn works really.
Ancient Gear Wyvern is a very good card.
Yeah, this is how you do good legacy support. You give them a tutor who has a decent stat line, considering that a lot of their old school stat lines were dog shit. His Clausy is normal or special. And then he also does something unique. He also lets you block monster effects.
Okay,
Yes.
I've now found one of my favorite custom cards.
He doesn't get
Oh, yeah?
one of the
What?
Go ahead, Loth, while Dallas is
Destiny
taking a
Hero Toon Plasma.
sec. Oh.
Oh.
I love that art.
I am slightly uncomfortable by you even saying that. I haven't even tabbed over to Discord.
No, this guy is great because if you get Ancient Gear Reborn in your starting hand before this guy is played, it's great. You can't set it after, like, searching for it. But this guy, like, if you can get Ancient Gear Reborn and he's in your graveyard, just keep grabbing cards, and it's fantastic.
To completely pun on purpose, this card is the gear that makes the deck turn.
Yeah.
Like, this is the linchpin of the new deck.
Yeah, no, it's a core card. And they also, I think, have another. While Ancient Gears are usually a little strapped for extra deck space, I do think that this next boy we're gonna pull up, one of their fusion monsters, also is kind of important.
Howitzer?
Yes.
Yeah, Howitzer is very
Ancient Gear Howitzer. Yeah. Now, this design.
I'm definitely a different deck builder when it comes to Loth, because I don't run a single copy of Ancient Ultimate Gear, because I just float the big boy into Howitzer.
Yeah.
Howitzer is great.
So
Yeah. Design-wise, I'm not in the right tab.
He's an angry, tanky dragon boy.
Also, I refuse to show that thing that Dallas posted. I will not.
What, the Destiny Hero
Oh,
2?
right,
no.
this one.
Yeah, Howitzer.
Ancient Gear Devil.
Yeah.
All I remember about this guy was used by one-shot villain who thought he was all of that and got defeated by Reiji.
No, I
By
will say.
Infinite Loop.
Sorry. There's two interesting things about this. So, they did censor this card, but not its card art. As Marth just said, in Japanese, the OCG, this is Antique Gear Devil, which kind of makes some aspects of his card design make more sense, because he's got kind of like demonic wings and whatever. But this is its only card art. So, for some reason, this time around, the cannons were okay.
They called it Howitzer.
Especially when we explicitly call it Ancient Gear Howitzer. But it can't be the devil. Satan, not okay. Howitzer's okay.
To be fair, that is very American.
Yeah.
But not usually how Yu-Gi-Oh goes. Remember,
No.
never forget Revolver Dragon.
Well, here's the thing. I think they're
Barrel
just so terrified of the Satanic Panic ever coming back. that they're
I
just
mean,
like, no,
absolutely.
anything but the
Satanic
devil.
Panic in America had a devastating effect on tabletop games exactly. So, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain they don't want to give it any more juice.
Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Missed that era because it was, like, the 80s.
No, but I suspect that Upper Deck Entertainment, who handled the
Yeah.
English carryover for the first few years, would have been well aware.
Yeah, and, like, the Pokemon card game got a little bit, like... They tried to do Satanic Panic 2 Electric
Satanic.
Boogaloo with the Pokemon card game.
Yeah. It
but
didn't really stick,
it
but
didn't take.
I knew friends, who were to specify, by the way, these were my friends in South Florida. So yes, they were Hispanic and their abuelas were Catholic. They got a little Jimmy Russelled, but it wasn't like you don't hear about it on the news. It was in certain circles that the card games were frowned upon, but it didn't really go anywhere. But yeah, I think knowing that he is supposed to be a devil makes some of these designs make sense. They're still a little weird. He's red and blue.
Yeah.
It's a little unusual. It's
I mean,
a little
I
standout.
still prefer Howitzer to the Devil because Howitzer makes more sense.
Well, yeah,
to
Devil's
me.
very
He's like-
generic.
It's like they upgraded Ancient Gear Cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is literally just, I would call this a Howitzer. Also, Japan is obsessed with Howitzers. I've just noticed that.
Like, considering what you use them for, to just be sitting in defense mode, constantly shelling your opponent. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I also, by the way, I had to zoom in on whatever's going on with his face because it's a little silly. He's got like
Yeah.
a Cylon eye, and then he's got like a little beak mouth.
He's a toaster!
Caw-caw, motherfucker. But there are good elements. You can see he's got like an exhaust outtake back here. You know, like I think it's a good card art. I'm just like a couple of the decisions are like, huh, that's a little unusual
There
for
were
ancient years.
decisions made in this that you don't necessarily support.
Oh,
Omega,
Yeah,
we
tell
may
it.
die doing this. We should totally play Battlestar Galactica one of these days.
I will
We
pay money.
should. I'm pretty sure TTS has a good version of that. I've always wanted to play that game, but that's gonna be we're gonna have to pick who we play with very carefully.
There
may be space murders.
I will make the argument. I'm very good at not getting salty at games.
That's pretty good.
so-
The problem
I have
is
one-
I don't think we can play with Robin because you guys will throw Robin into space.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
even if
Rob-
Robin's not the Cylon, you will airlock him because I've played Among Us with you guys and with Robin.
Okay, so checking.
Just don't be the
this-
asshole.
Okay, so,
So we
just
should
looking
space
at
axe first.
one aspect of this thing, I just noticed it has a electrical plug for tail.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, he does.
He
He has
does
a
have
little.
an
He's a little
electric
plug. That's
you
also
can
cute.
plug him in.
He's an electric ancient gear howitzer. He's not steam powered.
He does look more. What's
Oh
the
God,
word?
he's a Tesla.
Modern-ish.
Run.
He is red.
Like, he looks like he. If he didn't have the gears, he could be another. So
It's true. He
Right.
could be a completely different archetype, but he is an ancient gear.
No,
okay.
no. He has a non-destruction effect. He can't be made by Tesla. He's too well built.
So, we're gonna play a little game, chat. If you don't know, which you might not, I have also noticed that as we keep doing more and more diversions, I feel like our concurrent viewer max is slowly slipping.
Sorry.
they're like,
Uh,
fuck you guys.
Oh, what did he say though?
As
It's
you
not. It's
said
not a
that,
lot. It's
someone
not a
laughed.
lot, but I do notice that the number does
he
kind of
went down to 12.
the number dips up and down a little bit when we get on
Just to
diversions.
spite you. 11. No.
I mean, I'm not convinced that's not some of you guys leaving just to be funny. But chat, I want to play a little game. I'd like you to. So I'm gonna give you the stat line and requirements for this, not the actual effect yet. We'll get in there, but I want you to guess what level howitzer is. So this is an Earth Machine monster that is 1,000 attack, 1,800 defense, and its only materials are 2 Ancient Gear monsters. It's completely generic. What level is this card? I'm pretty sure most of these guys remember, so
6
I
or
won't.
8, I forget.
I know what level
God damn it, Axe.
I might. I think I'm wrong.
Axe does not understand what Omega means by chat.
Yes. Okay, I think chat knows. They're all saying 8. I think these guys knew already. Okay. I explicitly discounted us because Loth has literally played this card several times, so you
I
should
forget
remember.
stat
And
line.
if you're gonna be like, I don't remember, well, I'm like, I don't care. I didn't
I
ask
don't remember
you.
its stat
No.
line exactly.
Hearing
That's
Omega,
okay. Well, I literally said it, so go back in your shame cube. Anyway, chat's
I
all
don't have
correct.
a
They
cube,
said
sadly.
8.
But
Yeah.
Omega has bitched to me about this card, and one of his things he said is, "Why is this card a level 8?"
I literally don't know. I mean, so this card was also, I think, it may have been in the anime. I don't know for sure.
Its effects are
wasn't
too
the
good.
It was.
Several
It was used
of
by
the
one
other
guy.
anime fusions, like the Hunting Hound fusions, also have ludicrously high levels for some reason. Yeah, Archetypes even played Ancient Gear. Okay, yeah, no, I just wanted to ask if people could guess, because like it's a weird one. But yeah,
It's got
so
low stats, but it makes up for it with its effects.
first line of effect text: unaffected by other cards' effects. Period.
That's a good card line.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is funny because you can't use them as material if you fusion summon with Hunting Hound.
It
No,
does.
yeah.
It is the inferior version because it does not say opponents.
Yes, it is just
So-
unaffected by all card effects, but still.
It's not Fall or Master.
But during your main phase, you can inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. Period. You can only use effects of
Yes.
Ancient Gear Howitzer once per turn, so it's a hopped, so you cannot. They did future-proof this. You cannot loop this for burn shenanigans.
You cannot have 2 howitzers doing 2k damage.
But still, 1K is pretty spicy. That is, 1/8 of your life.
yeah, there's a reason why I jokingly hear wave motion.
And then, if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So, yeah, this motherfucker is unaffected, so you cannot pop him. You also can't negate him. You can negate the summon, but I'm pretty sure you cannot just skill drain this guy. That's not how this works, because he is like, I'm unaffected.
what people have done is run him over and then like ash his
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Once he's in the graveyard, his
negate him
floating effect can be
afterwards.
negated. But yeah, you cannot, you can't pop him. So you basically have to run him over, or you die because he has a burn effect. And when you run him over, he turns into a giant monster, usually a golem. But it can be whatever your
something.
opponent likes.
a wyvern, for instance.
Yes, you could also just special summon Wyvern to extend if you feel like it. If your opponent only has one attack and they run over Howitzer, you can just be like, okay, Wyvern, I'm just gonna extend and set it for next time.
Yeah.
But if your
Or
opponent does have
reactive
extra
dragon.
attacks, you can just be like, Gear Golem, fuck you. And if your opponent did not also make a large boy, like obviously in modern competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't think there are any big enough ancient gear monsters to make this like a really high power card.
I mean, it depends on if you're playing limit. Like, once again, I say like limiter removal.
True.
Yeah.
If you do the limiter removal setup, because you can't limiter removal ancient gear Howitzer. Funnily enough, doesn't work. He's unaffected.
Yeah. All I know about, as I said, this guy was used by Jean-Michel Roger, the guy who has the most punchable face in the anime.
Actually, what you could
however,
do,
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
you could have other monsters on the field do limiter removal, and then technically, because Howitzer's unaffected, still have a body on board afterwards.
Yeah, a body
One-
you can't just remove. It's very
One
funny.
card that does out it though, because of card rulings and hilarious shenanigans, you can still Monarch Stormforth this card, because that card affects the player, not the monsters.
Ah.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah. I'm also pretty sure you can still technically. Well, you've missed most of it.
Kaiju?
Yeah, you can kaiju.
Yeah, you can kaiju because that is send for cost, not tribute.
Something
Got an effect.
Loth hasn't done that is very funny with Angry Gear Howitzer, because he's not a war criminal, is you can combine it with cards like Burden of the Mighty.
Yeah. So your opponent can't even run him over.
Yeah, and just slowly drain them 1,000 a turn.
No, I'm not that much of an asshole yet.
I mean, we've had conversations about certain
I-
things you can do. Also, Loth has, I believe, experienced the only loss by deck out in our prog format history.
and that was self-inflicted, technically.
Yeah. But still, like,
Twice.
yeah.
Oh, Dallas.
Dallas has to brush his teeth, Evergener. Scratch off your Dallas bingo card now. Dallas has a hot take about a video game. Dallas clanks his plates. Dallas brushes his teeth. Next, we'll see if we get
Dallas
Dallas
makes-
goes
Dallas
for a
is
walk.
secretly just Claude.
Hey, if I mean, I think that's new to the bingo card. Hey, if we get Dallas goes for a walk, that's 4 in a row.
Oh,
You get
really?
your
If I get my,
Dallas would have
if
to
I
give
get my
us-
Dallas makes a Jew joke, I'll get mine.
For me, it's like Dallas needs to let's see. Dallas needs to call us. What was it? It was like one of Dallas's like 5 specific insults or something.
Fucking weeb.
Anyway, let's talk about the next man.
Ignoramus, that's
Their
what it
other
was.
fusion.
I don't
Boy.
think I've ever called you ignoramus in my entire life.
Something similar.
I'm gonna be honest. I do not
don't
think
think
I
I've
can remember a
ever
single
called you
time that word has come out of Dallas's mouth.
I tried.
I just
it's
realized now
like
that you blown this.
I'm trying to
Why did you
remember.
Sorry.
blow this guy up? His entire thing is just faces. He's got faces everywhere.
Yes, no, he is made of faces. It makes sense when we talk about his materials, but this is Chaos Ancient Gear Giant.
As he's
which
going
is
to kill you.
really weird because he is the only dark one, but otherwise it's a little weird to call him Chaos.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because the only ancient gear monster, fusion monster you could overload fusion.
Yes, and he is a good target because he's
Yes.
completely
Oh, no,
generic as
he's
well.
Fucking great with Overlord.
I've also noticed that it. Is it? Am I wrong? Like, because like this one that actually looks like it has like fresh metal instead of old metal.
No,
See,
no, this one does
Architect
look much more
actually
modern.
has a good one.
Like this
Oh.
is like a new model, which is like why I guess why it's a chaos model.
But yeah, no. When I was talking about the big boy earlier, this is the big
Yeah,
boy.
no, this is a fucker. This guy,
This is
yeah.
the fucker.
This is absolutely the one. Yes, this is very bad.
A scary thing to do, because I have done it in test games. I don't think I've done it on camera. Is turn 1 or turn 2 power bond to Chaos Ancient Gear Giant.
Yeah, and it's even funnier when you one day of peace first. So
This is the guy.
Yes.
so your
this is
guy
the
stays
she's
fucking
talking
huge,
about.
but you don't die. But no, Axe is correct. He is just made of faces. I'm pretty sure he's just
That was Loth.
Really? That sounded like. Didn't you say something about the faces?
No.
I
that
said it was
was
fresh
Loth.
metal.
I
That's
said it
really
was
weird. I could have
faces.
sworn Axe said that.
Continue with the Goin log.
remember,
Maybe it's 'cause you
Axe and
guys
Loth
both-
are the same person.
Maybe it's because
No.
Loth chuckled about it.
I will murder him.
Yeah, no, we are the same person. I'll murder myself.
But
No,
no, you
don't
are.
kill
Whoever
me.
said it, you are
Why
correct.
don't
I do
you
believe
do
this guy is just technically supposed to be like. I think it's more than 4, but he's just a bunch of hunting hounds stacked together in a trench coat.
5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, he's 500 tons of the trench coats.
I
He's
like.
Omnimon.
I like what they've done with some of it. I don't like what they've done with some others. Like
sorry,
look at his other
Omnimon.
arm being upside down.
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
like
but you can still see the eye.
Yeah, no.
Don't forget, Omnimon is made up of all the nice emails from children around the world.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
this
God, I
And
love Digimon.
his head is
It was
weird
stupid. I love
because I think he's got a hat of another hunting hound face, and then he's also got his Cyclops eye. It does look newer, you know. It looks different, but yeah, no, he's weird. He's weird blown up.
Does he have like a giant ancient gear like thing coming out of his back?
Yes, he has a giant gear on his back also.
Okay.
But that
I
doesn't
think
matter because he's charging his laser, and in 4 seconds from now, you will cease to exist.
Yes.
Actually,
you can
yes.
see the dark lightning and also the light rays coming out of it to signify chaos.
Yeah.
Wow, there are a lot of ancient gear cards they haven't brought over.
But no,
Yeah, we've
this
discussed
guy is scary. He's interesting.
Yeah,
He
this
is
is
the
a
deck.
really good legacy support.
This is the
Yes.
deck now. Like,
Yeah.
this
Like-
guy is the deck.
Well, I'm one of those weird people then, because I like this guy, but I also like a ton.
I mean, Megaton has his uses as well, and we'll get there.
But that's
Well,
because I
Megaton
like
isn't-
my Gurren Lagann references.
Especially
Like, you
also
got rid
because
of
he's
this guy?
printed later.
Yes.
This one's still pretty good. So, Chaos Ancient Gear Giant, or in Japanese, Antique Gear Chaos Giant. I don't know if the word order matters, but that's what they did. All in English, by the way, so it is Chaos. Is a dark level 10 machine fusion. He has 4,500 attack. Yes, this does mean if Loth does the funny power bond, he is 9k. You will die. 3k defense. So his fusion materials are just any 4 ancient gear monsters, and as we said, he is dark, so he is a overload fusion target. So just put 4 fucking ancient gear monsters in your graveyard.
Yeah.
Play Ancient Gears for 2 turns.
Now, he must be fusion summoned, it can't be special summoned in other ways. Pretty typical. Unaffected by spell or trap effects. Just nah. Spell traps? Nah, fam.
Monster effects? Still.
Kind of, but your opponent can't.
They
Your
play
opponent's
Wyvern,
monsters can't activate their effects during the battle phase. By the way, this is during the battle phase, so any battle phase. So even if you like have a you summon a Neospatian Grand Mole, can't do that.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
think.
so he's not. He doesn't have complete monster protection. He does lose to Exiled Force.
All
but-
of Warrock just explodes.
He loses
beforehand.
2 purple poison if not if destroyed outside the battle phase.
Yeah, if you
Oh,
pop your own
yeah.
purple poison, you lose. So he's not perfect, but still. We're not done yet. He has 2 more effects. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, which is good because if your opponent plays a Spirit Reaper, you could just murder them if they didn't do that. If this card attacks a defense your monster, inflict piercing. So this guy is 45. He is immune to spell traps. Your opponent can't activate monster effects during the battle phase. It attacks all your opponent's monsters once each, and does piercing. This is the OTK machine.
Yes.
If you've been playing like Master Duel or other Kitchen Yu-Gi-Oh! And you are not paying attention against an ancient gear deck, and they make this guy, you are probably in for a bad time.
Yes. There's a few end boards for ancient gears. This guy is one of them. Not one of my preferred ways to end the game because reactor dragoning in someone's board and making them lose set up is a very nice feeling.
Yeah, but he's a pretty punchy boy.
Traptics for Flesia counters this guy. Yep, yeah.
Yeah, technically, because you replace your monster effect with the trap hole effect, I believe.
Yeah.
Also, technically, Solemns can work against the summon because, remember, you negate the summon, not the monster.
But yeah, no, this guy is great. A very good end game boss monster. For
Basically,
Ancient Gears.
if you want our official Yu-Gi-Oh advice on what to do to stop Ancient Gears, when an Ancient Gear man attempts to make a fusion play, whether that's Hunting Hound or he plays Ancient Gear Fusion or whatever, don't let
Stop
it.
that.
You will not enjoy the result.
Well, here's the thing. Hunting hounding into Mr. Big is very hard.
Yes, you basically need a shit hand for that.
You basically, I have done that, and then I managed to Chaos Ancient.
But Ancient Gear,
what now?
Ancient Gear Fusion and or Overload Fusion are very good at getting this down.
Yes, and we'll bring up Ancient Gear Fusion later. But
It's a good card, but situation.
we are moving after the air. I mean, I think Hunting Hound is a decent because if you normal it and you have another Ancient Gear in your hand, that's an easy howitzer setup, and you get to do 1,600 damage that way, which isn't the
Hunting
worst.
Hound is great. Hunting Hound is great because of howitzer.
Yes.
It's just for the big OTK play, you need one of the two.
So like I said, this isn't in perfect chronological order because our next card hasn't come out yet for us in Prague, but soon. But hey, y'all. Ancient Gears are an extra deck archetype. That means they get a Link monster.
Yeah.
Ancient Gear Ballista. You've also probably seen this guy because, spoilers, he just requires 2 Earth Machines.
Yeah.
He is. They made him. They made him 3 ballistas.
So here's the thing.
Crossbows in 1.
He was in Earth Machines, and then they printed the Infinitrack Link.
Yeah, they printed even more stupid Earth Machine links. But like card art wise, hey, Ballista, it's cool. I love Ballistas and Scorpios, and all those
I'm gonna
other
be honest,
onagers are
I
cool.
hate this art.
You can see. how,
he's very goofy.
He is.
This art is so dumb.
I'm not gonna lie. He's silly. He is ancient. Sorry. He's ultimate Ancient Gear Golem at home.
Like I'll say this. If it was just the 2 crossbows on his hand, that'd be fine. It's the one in his chest that is just like,
yes, he also has a belly button Ballista.
That's not.
He is extra siege engines.
No.
I also
Otherwise-
want to point out, I don't know what's going on with his magazine loading in this arm, but there's some bad angles here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like.
I don't know how that's working.
I guess he uses the middle joint because this arm is just straight, but this one has joints. So I guess he has to straighten out that arm, but then I don't know why it's articulated if that's how that works.
So this is probably also on your bingo card. I'm probably gonna have to sign off in a little bit.
Okay. Well, we're in our last stretch, so we'll try and cover as much as we can. But Ballista, he's a little derpy looking.
He's got a great effect though for Ancient Gears.
Yeah. So his effect, he is a Link 2 Earth Machine Link. He's got 1,500 attack. So he just requires 2 Earth Machine monsters. If this card is Link summoned, add an Ancient Gear monster or a Geartown from your deck to your hand. Pretty good. That means you can you basically have extra copies of Geartown and can also search Ancient Gear monsters, which can set them off. You can target 1 spell trap you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Destroy that card, and if you do, change that opponent's monster's attack and defense to 0 until the end of the turn. You can only use each effective Ancient Gear Ballista once per turn. So yeah, this guy lets you search Geartown, blow up Geartown to 0 out your opponent's attack, and then summon a large boy. Or if you don't want to do that combo, he's just yet another search. He's another extender.
Like, what's that? You're gonna blow up your fortress to make someone slower? Oh, what's that? You gotta summon it from graveyard?
Yeah. No. Ballista is a
he's
great
good.
card for the deck.
Like, yeah, he's a weird Link monster. I'm not gonna lie. But he is good.
He is definitely one of, I think, the more on-point and fair semi-generic Link 2 weirdos. Like you can play him outside of Ancient Gear, but he's not busted, but also he is actually useful for Ancient Gear.
When he comes out, I'll try to bust out Ancient Gear to be like, haha.
Alright. Sorry, I'm just looking at the next card. Art.
Does it begin with an M?
No, it's
After
F.
the Ancient. Oh.
Ancient Gear Frame.
Yeah.
You have no face, sir.
because it's the frame.
Yeah, but he's not really that. I mean, I know what they're going for. They're going for Machina gear frame, ancient gear frame. Get it? And he does miss some of the armor. He's not that framey. I like a lot of details, like his skeleton little skeleton hands are good.
This guy.
Go for it.
Sorry. This guy is good, but also really weird to work with.
He looks like he's weird to work with. Look at his face. Look at his no face.
helmet on.
I hope you guys like your 5 Nights at Freddy's.
Meh. Dun, dun, dun,
I
dun,
don't like
dun,
his
dun,
fingers.
dun, dun. Really? I like his weird. I mean, if I am assuming with this face, he is trying to be creepy. I like his little grabby hands.
With
That's fair.
this, actually, this is making me think of like ancient. That's what I'm getting from this guy.
What? You cut out there.
Like an ancient Terminator.
Yes, I thought he was going to be Terminator-esque, and then I saw him enlarged, and I was like, ah, I see the detail on your weird gear mouth now. Or, But yeah, so this was part of the legacy support in Ancient Millennium. So this came out in the Link era. He's an okay boy. I mean, I like that we went back to the classic color scheme, kind of the brownish and the silver.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one is slightly weird. So, we discussed some of his stats earlier. He is a level 4 Earth Machine monster. He has 1600 attack, 500 defense, so he is searchable. First effect, you can discard one card, add an Ancient Gear Golem, or a spell trap that specifically lists Ancient Gear Golem in its text from your deck to your hand. So he has a search effect, and that's his on-field effect, so you only use this effect of Ancient Gear Frame once per turn. If this card attacks, can't use spell traps. If this face-up card leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon up to 3 Ancient Gear Golems or Ancient Gear Ultimate Pounds from your hand, ignoring their summoning conditions. Now, this last clause, that's super cool. There's 2 problems with this.
Yes.
Opponents and hand.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is frame. Now, this card could be stupid broken if that was deck, but it's not decked. So, you have to have bricks in your hand, basically, and your opponent has to get rid of this, keeping in mind it still has the mandatory effect that your opponent can't activate spell traps when this card attacks.
And in addition, this guy also somehow, with his effect, plays against Ancient Gear Fusion, which I believe came out in the same set. Which is so weird, because I was like, hey, have Ancient Gears in deck. Use them.
Yeah.
Well, no, for Ancient Gear Fusion, you need to control one of the big guys. So it does
Yeah, one of the
work
big
like
guys. It kinda.
I mean, he can search, I believe he can search Fusion, because Fusion mentions Gear Golem.
It does.
Yeah.
So that's decent, but you do have to discard a card to do that.
That's literally the only reason you play him, is to search Fusion.
Yeah. And that's pretty decent.
The second effect is a funny pipe dream
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
It's why
activates once in a blue moon.
it's why I
I
traded
mean,
for him, but don't
I
use him.
think it has the same effect that a lot of Ancient Gear cards have, much like Howitzer and even some of their spell traps. Like, it's not the worst if you activate it on your own time, but it's the kind of thing where you're like, wait, shit, if I TT this Ancient Gear Frame summon, or if I bottomless this Ancient Gear Frame summon, if he's got some guys in hand, then I have to deal with even bigger assholes. Do I want to do that right now? Like, your opponent has to think about counterplaying this card, because if they do it dumbly, then your opponent's like, well, joke's on you, I completely bricked. I have 3 Ancient Gear Golems in my hand. Eat a dick. And you're like,
I mean,
The
bit is
funniest opponent to play Ancient Gear Frame against, if you've got Ancient Gear Golems in your hand, is if you're playing against Fortune ladies and they've got their field still on the field.
Ow, you're right. That's painful.
Yeah, no. There are a few decks you can auto-play this into.
Axe, what were you saying earlier?
I was gonna say it's like technically you at least get one because you can search one in hand via its effect.
No, not if they respond to the summon, because there's no more priority, so you have to wait to activate.
Fun
the search
fact: this
effect.
technically would counter Slifer the Sky Dragon, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But okay.
But also, I think he's good enough just because all of the Ancient Gear spell traps are.
Well, yeah, I believe Wyvern says monster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Ancient Gears had a really good spell trap searcher, other than that when
Wait.
Ballista comes out, Ballista specifically searches Geartown, probably
No,
because
no,
this
no,
guy.
no. Wyvern is one Ancient Gear card.
Ah, okay.
No.
The
It's a
problem
really
with
good-
Ancient Gear Wyverns that you can't set after using the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He limits what you can do if you search a spell trap. Still, they're
Wyvern
both
born the
good.
trap.
I think they have different values.
Yes.
Also,
You would-
can search
depends
them
on
off.
your-
You would equally run 3 of both just because you want to hit
I don't
one.
think you'd run 3 frame.
Yeah,
I
maybe 2
usually
frame.
run it- I
You would run
usually
some
run it
number
like
of
warrior.
frame as a backup because
One or
that just
two.
you get. It's more searches. You want them. You want more searches.
No, I think the only 2 cards I run at 3 in the main deck for Ancient Gear are Wyvern and Pound.
Yes.
Have I gotten to pound yet? Or I've just
No,
been...
No,
That's next.
because that's it's remember alphabetical. So frame is before Golem, but yes, it is time now for Ultimate Gear Golem, Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem,
You
Ultimate
going
Pound.
to Pound Town.
The the source of so many jokes, including our the name of our stream tonight.
Is it Pound Town?
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's going down to Geartown Ultimate Pound. Anyway, yeah. So this is one of the weird things they've done with a couple of cards. Back in, I think, technically GX era, they did some spell cards that did iconic monster attacks, like Inferno Fire Blast, Burst Stream of Destruction, Dark Magic Attack, Dark Burning Attack, stuff like that.
It also makes me think of magic cards, which just have like different monikers.
Well, what I was going to say was, lately they have been doing basically retrains of monsters who had limited effects or no effects with their signature attack name. Ancient Gear Golem, Ultimate Pound, the Harpy's Pet Dragon retrain, which I don't think has come out in the TCG yet. It was a V-Jump promo, so
Oh, so it'll be out in like 5 years.
yeah, God knows when. Let's hope at worst they stick it in as like a prismatic in Legendary Duelist Season 3 or something.
Let's hope it doesn't get the.
Because guess what, guys? The Harpy's Pet Dragon retrain will be the cheap card out of Legendary Duelist Season 3. People are going to buy that 5 million times because that's going to be the Magical Hero reprint, so that's got a lot of good shit in there. Let's hope to God they don't reprint Magician's Souls as like a secret again or something. They're probably
Knowing
still going to leave it
Konami-
as an Ultra.
Knowing Konami, it's gonna be a secret.
But no matter what rarity, it could use the fucking reprint.
Well, yeah, it's like $100-something.
Like, just
Trying to
pick
push
every
soul.
card that's over like $50 a card right now.
But yeah,
That's
so
That's too many cards in a set.
Ultimate Pound. I think they were the main thing.
Also,
was, I
they'd
think-
just be Adventure again.
I think that there were product shortages around the time of Magical Hero, and then that dovetailed into COVID. So that may explain why the cards were so hard to come by. But the main thing is Konami hasn't reprinted many of them. And they took forever, I think, because of product delays to do Legendary Duelist Season 3, because I think it's also Synchro Storm? I don't know. I'd have to double check. Anyway, Ultimate Pound. It's Gear Golem. I didn't realize, did regular Gear Golem always have a claw hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't notice
It's
it
not
before.
obvious in his original card, but I know it from the anime.
Yeah, okay.
because he's reaching out with a hand that's not.
Yeah.
Which is the.
So he's got his pounding hand, and then he's got his claw arm. Okay. But yeah, no, this is just, he's doing the Falcon Punch.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much else to say here.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody also brought up the mystical elf or holy elf in the OCG Ultimate Burst stream from that one time Yugi did a thing that even in the context of Duelist Kingdom barely makes any sense.
This is funny.
Like attacking on your opponent's turn.
Omega, what do
No.
you think the second most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh card is right now?
I don't know.
That is a
guys.
regular printing, not a like.
I have absolutely no idea.
It is Elemental Hero Air Neos.
Makes sense. Literally never been reprinted. But no, what I was going to say, Axe, is no, you're thinking too normally. Declaring attack on your opponent's turn is something that could feasibly happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm talking about my holy elf was chanting a mystical spell which will increase the attack points of my Blue Eyes White Dragon to be
Also-
bigger than your Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Jesus Christ, Therian Regulus is already $60.
Therian, unfortunately, is very good and popular. Like, people have
I
been
wanna
taking
try
on tournaments
those.
with it, so the price has been going up. It only just came out, too. There's always this weird period where right before a set comes out, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are really expensive. Never buy pre-release prices. They're stupid. But the prices get, like, way inflated to pre-order. The set actually comes out. The market gets flooded. It drops. And then, like, after 2 or 3 weeks of selling, once the price point has settled, then they start going back up because the
Jesus
stock is gone.
Christ, Pot of Prosperity is $100 a pop. Sorry, I'm getting depressed over Yu-Gi-Oh! Prices. Lightning Vortex, still $60.
Which is interesting because they got a couple reprints. Oh, okay.
I'd
Yeah,
rather
so they
just buy a
haven't
video
reprinted Pot
game
of
instead of buy a
Prosperity
single
yet.
card.
I mean, yeah, but if you play Master Duel, you have to deal with other problems. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we haven't done a Pot of Prosperity reprint, not even like an OTS pack. That is very interesting. That's a couple years old. I mean, that's why it's so expensive. It has one printing a couple of years ago now, like a year and a half ago, I think.
Yeah, Blazing Vortex, that's it.
Yeah. So, I once again, I honestly do suspect Konami probably doesn't want the card prices to be so high, but they literally can't help to get a product released on time. Like I've said this before, literally every product over the past, 2 years has been delayed at least 2 months.
I'm more forgiving of the ones from 2 years ago. Well, some of them. The Baron de Fleur's price is still ridiculous, and that should not happen.
Yeah.
They need to reprint that for the health of the format.
Like I said, I think, hold on.
Spoiler, it's $115.
For
Yeah,
a card that you usually run at one of?
Still.
Okay, no, so we're not yet there, but soon, because I completely forgot about Immortal Destiny. That's the other part of Season 3. If you're ever wondering why I forgot about it, it's because while hero players will approve it because it's got reprints of the evil heroes that are $5 million.
5.
Yeah. Axe, I'm only gonna say more 5s the more you objective it.
No, that was a Comrade joke. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
There is literally a season called 5, which is
Fives.
5.
Yeah, but it's that one, including the fusion, the field spell. It's the
All right.
Rex Godwin's Dark Signer cards, and then new gimmick puppet stuff.
I mean, I'm unbelievably happy on that set, because that's literally everything I want.
Yeah. Synchro Storm will be reprinted. The question is just when. Probably not until next year, because Duels to the Deep just came out. Yeah, because Season 4 would be Synchro Storm and Duels from the Deep. All right, good night, Varen. Sorry we keep getting so sidetracked, guys. We're almost done. Anyway, Ultimate Pound, he punches things.
Yep.
Yes.
So, he's basically got the exact same stat line as the normal version. He also can't be special summoned, and he inflicts piercing. Now, then he has other stuff. Though I think he's got a problem that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards retrains do that I don't understand why. Because this guy came out in... Okay, no, he came out in Code of the Duelist first, and then he was reprinted in Ancient Millennium. Even though that was still 6 months later. You'll see what I mean in a second. But up to twice per turn when he destroys a monster by battle, you can discard a machine, he can attack again. If this card in the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, add a polymerization from your deck to your hand. If you do, add one other Ancient Gear monster from your graveyard to your hand. Now, as we've discussed, Ancient Gears actually have an excellent fusion spell. Now, that wasn't out when this guy came out.
No,
But-
it was the same set.
No, incorrect. He was in Code of the Duelist first.
Oh, right.
Also was
Yeah.
common. But then he was
Just
reprinted in
opened them
Ancient
at the same
Millennium.
time.
Yeah, I know, because he was also reprinted as a common again in Ancient Millennium. It's very weird. I do not know why, especially if they probably knew, somebody in the design team probably knew that they were gonna do Ancient Millennium at this point. Like I said, it's the TCG difference of release is Code of the Duelist is early August 2017. Ancient Millennium is February 2018. So somebody probably had an inkling they were gonna print new Ancient Gear support, and they did not future-proof this. So I think his On Destruction effect is probably pretty dead unless you want to run Poly exactly so you can proc it, which doesn't seem worth it.
It would be worth it if they managed.
Managed to what now? You cut out again.
No, if they made Ancient Gear Fusion count as Poly.
Yeah, but they won't do that. They don't usually do that. But yeah,
that
this
would lead to other problems.
this basically this gives you the piercing still. It doesn't have the spell trap protection, but there are other ways you can get that. And it does let you body up to 3 monsters, so you get to punch a lot.
Yeah.
I do believe you still run both in a couple of contexts, but
Somewhat.
Pound is still a pretty good boy. Dallas said, for instance, he prefers 3 of him.
Yeah, I do run 3.
And probably one.
Yeah, I run 1 Golem just for weird trigger effects.
And I'm the opposite.
Oh yeah.
Run of this guy, 3 golems.
And also, we've got our next boy. He's kind of the medium tier. Because he's 3 Ancient Gear monsters. This is Ancient Gear Megaton Golem.
Yeah.
This card of... what they're going for with the art of this one, I like way better than Ultimate.
Same.
Yes.
Like, he's got the triple eyes all on the same side. He's got three arms, 3 claws, 6 legs, like an ant. It's pretty rad. Any other thoughts about this?
I appreciate that to really go with the theme of it being three Ancient Gear golems. On his left side, all 3 of those arms are the fucking claw.
Yeah, he's symmetrical, which is funny. At least with his arms.
I have some problem with like perspective shot.
He's very tall.
Well, I just don't know what he's supposed to be standing on.
The ground. That's
This
where all the
is
dust
weird.
and rocks are coming from.
Yeah, because he took a steppy.
Yeah. I actually, once again, great background effects. He's in like a lightning
yeah.
cyclone inside the gear space. And he's just so
The
fucking
gears.
huge.
Yes. This guy is a great alternative boss monster to Chaos Ancient Gear Giant.
Yeah. And I mean, I
mean-
think he still has his purpose because maybe you don't have 4 monsters to make chaos.
He's more of a tech card to me than a boss monster, but that's just different.
I mean, I
philosophies,
will still
guess.
say I think he still has a decently impressive stat line. So he is a level 9 Earth Machine Fusion, 3300, 3300, 3 Ancient Gear monsters. If this card attacks, your opponent can't activate spell traps. If this card was
Yeah.
fusion summoned using 2 or more Ancient Gear Golems or Ancient Gear Golems Ultimate Pound, it can make up to that many attacks per battle phase. So if you use 3 Golems, it can make 3 attacks. Which, again, it's 33. That could be an OTK. If this face-up card leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, fusion summon card, sorry, you can special summon a Ultimate Gear Ancient Golem during its summoning condition. So as Lot said, it can float into a new boy, and
Like, I think one of the ways they balanced it's like if it was summoned with these cards, makes extra attacks. It doesn't have piercing.
yes, it does not have piercing, but
Like,
depending on the board
the-
state, this can still be a swing for game.
The
Yes.
problem I have with this, card is it is to me, at least from having tried to build Ancient Gears a couple of times, it's harder to summon this guy with his met conditions than it is to summon Chaos Ancient.
Okay.
Like with the 2 Ancient Gear pounds or golems.
No, you just normal summon him. And if your opponent goes, I don't want that on the field, it goes, here's an even bigger asshole to deal with.
True, ultimate is bigger.
No, that's not what I meant. I mean, it's harder to fusion summon him with his requirements for his effect.
Yeah, but who cares about that effect? It's a nice addition if you're using Ancient Gear Fusion, but if you just want to get an asshole that floats into another asshole, who can possibly float into another asshole.
I guess it's just a difference in philosophy then.
Yeah. I'm not gonna argue with you on that one.
Loth is just like, you right. Let's
though.
talk about the card text of Ancient Gear Fusion then. Okay, guess what? They have a pretty good fusion card.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to pull it up because it's kind of swirly.
It's like Red Eyes Fusion, but good.
Yeah, basically. God, I wish they'd printed my fusion card in a Legendary Duelist to not like 4... No, I actually think it was like 2 years earlier. But still, they printed it like early Arc V, I think.
Like, I'm sorry to dig the knife, but it's
No. As a longtime Red Eyes aficionado, the only card that makes Red Eyes Fusion worth it is Dragoon. Because Dragoon is you can make Dragoon your only summon and be okay. And also, if you do the Verte method, you can also play out your turn before you Verte, because then Verte is just the last thing. But
ironically, to be fair, I think Ancient Gears would be more okay with the no more summons clause than Red Eyes will be. Because if you make Chaos Giant, you kind of just end the game there.
Yeah, and arguably, even if you used it to make, what's his face, Megaton, as Loth pointed out, Megaton floats. So just so long as your opponent doesn't pop him right away, you could still have guys later because he replaces himself. Unfortunately, several Red Eyes monsters float, and they have no protection, so if they get popped, you're fucked. Anyway, Ancient Gear Fusion. Fusion summon one Ancient Gear Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters in your hand or fields of material. If you use Golem or Ultimate Pound version, you control, so they do have to be on the field already. You can use monsters from your deck as material. So it's a perfectly fine, it's just poly. And then also, if you have a guy on board, though, which isn't that hard these days, you can send from deck.
Like, you could just be like, aha, fuck you, I've got an Ancient Gear Golem. Here's Megaton Golem with 3 Ancient Gear Golems.
Yeah.
Or...
It's also ridiculously easy to cheat out Ancient Gear Golem or Ultimate Pound.
Yes, as we've discussed, their entire archetype is built around cheating them because they have to be cheated. Because you can't special summon them normally.
Or you could be funny, use an Ancient Gear Golem you have on the field, fuse them, one of the materials being like a Reactor Dragon, pop one of your spell or trap cards that special summons from graveyard. So now you have a big old
I would also like
to
to talk about fucky combos. This doesn't banish, so you can use it to pitch from deck, and then, oh hey, you've got the fusion materials you need in your graveyard, just drop Overload. Make a second Chaos.
Yeah,
Alright,
spoiler.
I'm back from
the end
making...
result of my Ancient Gear deck is usually 2 Chaos Giants.
Yeah.
And then if my opponent isn't dead, I'm not going to win this duel anyway. So...
I mean, depending on what your deck you're facing, I don't even know what. Like, because 2 Chaos Giants still, they're both unaffected by spell traps, so you can't do like a lightning storm comeback.
I'm in Monster.
You have to get a monster pop, and then you have to get 2 after your opponent has cleaned your clock. Because if you successfully summon Chaos, that means the board is probably empty.
Well, the weakness of Ancient Gear decks, and I think Loth can attest to this, at least in terms of modern Yu-Gi-Oh, is your opponent selecting to go second.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Gear is definitely
really depends
as
on
an
the
OTK deck, you are a hard going second deck usually.
Comparatively, like, I'll just do my comparison because I played both of these decks. Compared to Sidra, where you actually have a turn 1 game plan, i.e. make the negate boy.
Yeah.
Hydra
are generally an OTK deck. Sorry to cut you off, Love. But
okay.
they have options. They have a go first line. There's no real control in Ancient Gears.
Like, sure, you can do nothing if you go turn 1 Ancient Gears, but if you get the right hand, it's workable. Like, what's that? You've got Reborn and a Wyvern. then you can do a lot of dumb bullshit with that.
I think
I'm
the
not saying you can't do
optimal turn one
anything.
play is probably howitzer,
Well, yeah, it's probably howitzer.
but that's
Yeah.
still
Or two
like
howitzer.
that's a
It
very
really depends on what you draw.
yeah. It's not the most optimal setup.
I'm just saying most of the games I've lost playing Ancient Gear is because I have gone first, and I go, well, shit. I make usually in my case because I don't play pure because I'm a filthy deck builder. Usually it's I make what the fuck's it called? The Mega Clops.
I have
I
no
saw
idea what you
that.
just said to me.
The Infinitrax Mega Clops, I think, is the Link monster.
Okay,
It's the 2 Machine Xyz.
all right, got it. Yeah. Just you said
usually
like
do
it
that.
sounded like a mega clops, and I'm like, context?
Yeah, sorry. It is called Mega Clops, right? Or,
I think so, I
That
forget.
sounds about right.
yeah, Infinitrax Fortress Mega Clops.
But yeah, next up in my spell trap list of no particular order is Catapult. I think the card art for that is cool, but that's the thumbnail, so you've been looking at it. You could have been looking at it for like 3.5 hours.
This is the best card in the deck. This card is ridiculous.
Yeah, so Catapult is stupid good. It was in the structure deck the second time around, so it makes sense. So while you control no monsters, target a face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon Ancient Gear monster for your deck, ignoring summons conditions.
Yeah, that's Ancient Gear Pound into Ancient Gear Fusion into your opponent dies.
You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and then special summon an Ancient Gear token. You're going to use one effective Catapult once per turn, and only once that turn. But
Oh,
still.
yeah. Good old
Catapult.
Catapult.
Catapult kind of should have been on the that MBT video of like, oh yeah, this has a second effect. I don't think I've ever resolved the token effect.
I've done that to people, which is resolving Catapult's second effect, and they've been like, wait, what?
Probably mostly for the pop, but yeah, the token's funny.
Yeah,
It's a-
I can see the pop.
Guess it's just like, oh, I've got nothing on board, but I still have Geartown or 4. So, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we should probably mention Castle. Oh, sorry, I just realized Castle was fucking censored again.
You mean Fortress?
No, we should mention Castle because we're going to talk about Fortress for sure.
Yeah. Spoiler: Fortress is also a $20 card.
Yeah,
'Cause it's never been reprinted.
which is a little weird, but Castle, the first version, basically, is all Ancient Gears gain 300 attack. Each time a monster is normal summoned or set, plays a counter. If you tribute summon an Ancient Gear monster, you can tribute this card instead if the number of counters is equal or greater than the number of tributes. So this was their first attempt at giving you extra tributes, because if you normal set and your opponent normal sets, you can tribute it for Gear Golem.
Hey,
What would have
everyone-
made this card fucking broken is if instead of tributing the card, you use the tokens for the tribute.
Yeah, you just remove tokens.
Everyone in chat, take a shot. This card was good in Duel Links.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not.
They had an effect that let you put it on board turn 1 with 2 counters on it.
Yes, that's also a speed duel skill, I believe.
Yeah, so basically, if you draw Ancient Gear Golem, you summon
Which, by the way, not some of the more modern stuff, but a shitload of Ancient Gear cards have been reprinted for speed duels with the new GX box. If you're looking for, once again, for cheap stuff. So Fortress is basically the newer take on this. The card art isn't super interesting because it's a very far away shot with gears in a castle. But during the turn they were normal or special, your opponent can't target Ancient Gear monsters with card effects, and they can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So that's got the protection you're looking for from monster effects a lot, at least during the initial turn. Your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to the activation of Ancient Gear cards and effects, which is really good for Fusion because that's like the only time you can get them. And then, if this card is destroyed in the spell and trap zone, special summon Ancient Gear from your hand or graveyard, but you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Ancient Gears.
yes, which if you're playing an Ancient Gear deck,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter too much.
The only thing about Fortress is that means you can't. It's not ignoring summoning, so you can't get Gear Golem, but still.
Spoiler: in my main deck for my Ancient Gear deck, I run two non-Ancient Gear monsters. The Geargias that search level 4 Earth Machine monsters because they search Wyvern.
It's always really good.
No, it's
Main deck ones.
it's a non-extra deck. No, it's a Geargi
Oh,
Kraugar. Gearga Gaugargar.
Geargia.
Geargi Augur
It's Geargi Augur.
is
But
in the
yeah,
drill,
no.
in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah, that one I run, and I run a Gear Arsenal, I think.
Geargia Arsenal, which is you
Yeah,
can
Geargia
summon
Arsenal. Geargia Arsenal.
tribute to someone from deck.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Fortress was in a structure deck that hasn't been reprinted in a while. I do think it is interesting that they did not reprint this because a lot of the structure deck cards were reprinted in Legendary Duel
Yeah,
Season 1.
Not Fortress.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Which is why Fortress is $20, and the rest of them are like $5.
Well, I mean, I would check the structure deck price.
It's like $40.
Okay, makes sense. It's been a while. That does mean you could
Also, I think it has a good card in that.
Nah, the structure deck's really good. This card art I did want to pull up. This will be our last example for tonight, but not an Ancient Gear card, but also an Ancient Gear card. Cross-Dimensional Duel.
Oh yeah, this.
Yeah, it's a funny card.
It's that scene from the anime we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I found out why all the structure decks were bought out.
What's in it, Dallas?
Cosmic.
So yeah, it's that scene from the duel. You've got shadow figures of the duelists.
Yeah.
Also, when was Maxi banned? Because it was also printed Maxi.
I think Maxi wasn't banned until after the deck came out because that was
Okay, so
2017.
that was also probably an important thing.
Earth.
A funny thing about this card, because I have tried to use,
Yeah.
which is if you use it on Chaos Ancient Gear Giant, it doesn't work.
Yes. Correct.
Like Howitzer.
Yeah. But so, what this does is, it's a trap card. It's a normal trap.
I'm
Which
sorry,
is also-
Did I say Cosmic Cyclone? I meant Galaxy Cyclone. Sorry.
Not as good, but still good. Because you can use Galaxy Cyclone twice, but it's once it's face up, one is set, I believe. Cosmic is just pay 1k, banish a spell trap.
Yeah, there's some good printings in that.
But yeah, so this is a normal trap, which is probably why you don't see this card a lot, because, again, Ancient Gears, normal traps. Not really common. But its effects text reads, target an Ancient Gear monster you control, banish it. During your next standby phase, return that banished monster to the field, and if you do, its attack becomes double its attack, its original attack, until the end of that turn. If one or more Ancient Gear Golem or Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pounds be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So, as like just a fucking dump card, this is good. You probably want its graveyard effect more than its initial effect.
Yeah.
Makes great discard fodder for Frame, for instance.
I did run a version of Ancient Gears with this card
Yeah.
and Extra Foolish.
Like looking at my progression Ancient Gear deck, I have one of this. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
If you manage to get it to go off,
Yeah.
like, hey, it's your end phase. I activate Cross-Dimensional Duel.
Yeah, no, it's got good effects. Just the main thing is that it's not... That first effect's not optimal, but its graveyard effect is phenomenal no matter what, so...
Yeah. Like, this is a Extra Foolish card, if I understand.
Yeah. So this is a good one, and it was a super rare in Ancient Millennium, but will be a common in Legendary Duel Season 1.
Thank God they're-
But yeah, and that's Ancient Gears, everybody.
Thank you so much for voting for this, guys.
Yeah. Loth has to come up with a new idea.
Oh, I know what it is.
In a couple of weeks, everybody, do not tell me your names now and forget to write them down. I will not remember in 2 weeks when I got to do a new poll.
I definitely didn't do that.
I'm gonna just,
Don't
mine
worry,
hasn't
it's-
changed, and it's not gonna change until it gets voted.
It's gonna be what I'm
So
playing
it will
tomorrow.
literally never change.
Aw, okay.
How am I
Listen,
still
Axe,
rated?
I'm just being pessimistic. I think Magical Muskets are cool, but they've gotten like one vote every time, and if they've only gotten one vote, I'm pretty sure that's just you, buddy.
I was about to. Oh, Omega's gonna hate me tomorrow if you.
Oh God, what are you?
I
playing
posted the
tomorrow?
bracket.
I'm curious.
The deck that made Omega hate me in test game like a few days ago.
There's a few of those.
That doesn't give me any
Exactly.
context.
I'm not gonna give it away.
I mean, I'm
Nice.
facing Axe.
I know what it is.
Loth, I have no idea if I'm gonna meet you or not. You're the buy. I have to get through Marth, who is currently 2-0 at beating me in finals. So we'll see if he can keep up. If he can do the hat trick.
I'll say
I mean,
this.
that's finals.
I know, but still, my record's not
did
great.
I did pivot away from my
For the first time for the
my
last time.
original deck idea of Zephyr Pendulum because the lines got too complicated and I'd fuck it up. So I just built Zephyr Yang Zing.
Which also it can be fucked up.
Yeah, but I know the line's better.
But yeah,
Oh,
so
don't worry, I still can set up 4 negates on turn 1.
we have completed the Ancient Gears one, as Les said. Thank you so much for voting for it. We'll be
I'm
back
actually
with more
really happy.
polls. It's a fun stream. I think we got some decent viewers. We definitely got more chat revenue than we usually do. Thank you for that. I appreciate your generosity as always. I especially appreciate when you use your generosity to yell at Dallas. That's a new one.
I'm a valuable member of this team.
Yes,
Did I
you
really
are.
spend
You are.
five-
You're a great heel, Dallas.
Did I really spend $5 to say fuck you? Yeah, I did.
But
Dallas.
But we appreciate it so
Golden
much.
Ball,
Obviously, if
third
you
party.
want to vote in more polls like this, you can also support us on Patreon for $5 a month. Or just wait until the normal one. I'm pretty sure, barring any weird ideas we get, this does mean that next week we will be going back to our dual terminaling saga. We will be talking about Satellar Knight. Not Constellaris, but Satellar Knight, so we can scratch that one off the list. And we'll be moving forward. This is actually a good time as Enter to mention it. I will throw this out there. Not this week because it was fairly last minute, but depending on how long it takes for people, we might be switching to bi-weekly for Prague because we have a couple of people who are now doing moving stuff and are too busy to build decks and other things. And Robin has a work schedule where he literally can only join us every other week. So rather than beat this to death with the same 5 of us over and over again and make us hate each other even more, I would probably pivot
I
to
try not.
just taking a break
okay,
every
okay.
week so we have
Don't
more
just
time to
talk.
do this and see. So if
Actually, yeah.
anything happens, you'll see that later. We are not engaging in another long conversation about the future
No,
of Prague. So
I'm gonna wait for you to be done.
thank you everybody so much for tuning in. Please go watch last week's Prague episode if you haven't. If you stuck through this stream, go watch the Prague.
Why would you make them suffer through that?
Because it's only got like 63 views. Please go watch it. Also, if you need more stream stuff, go watch me and Lucky play Great Ace Attorney. Also,
I don't
That
know.
was
if
pretty
they
good
should
actually.
I don't want to not. Say
I wish
they
it kept
shouldn't
going for
watch
2 more
it,
hours,
But
'cause I was
last
doing
Prague
something.
episode was rough.
I mean, give it a try. See how far you make it. I don't really get a lot of feedback on Prague, so the primary commenters on Prague are people in Prague. So, and I don't just mean that Marth is very nice and does the time codes every week. I usually only get feedback from like Loth memes or occasionally Dallas jokes.
Sometimes
So,
it's just me
This
poking
was
it.
a
Please go
rough
check it
one.
out and give
I'll
us
give
more-
you that feedback.
Yeah, no, it was a weird one. I'm pretty sure we blanked out a couple of times again. Hopefully with fewer matches and other setup, next week will be cleaner.
I'll say this: for once, not my fault.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
I'm
Dallas,
still not even
neither
sure.
of us really contributed to that length.
I wish I could have taken less time.
Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. I already see people filtering out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've already done the Patreon thing. Consider joining our channel memberships for the badges and emotes and other fun stuff. And we'll see you guys next week for more Portrayal. Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Bye.